Man, who the hell shut off the music? Anyway, what's going on, guys? It is me, Atari HB. How is everyone doing today? All right, let's see who we got in the stream today. So we got David, Super, Macadamia, Roswell, Rhea Trap Gaming, Katsuki, Cursed, Arvado. Yeah, what's going on, man? How's it going? Yeah, late night stream. Hello. What is good today? So he's all the word cosmology. He's like, all right, let's get into this real quick. You said cosmology, say less Atari. Hey, I thank you guys. Katsuki, I appreciate it. Hey, you guys, just share the video. Some big groups out there. Share the video, like, share. That's how the algorithm gets it out there. Once I go on recommendation, they'll be like, I don't know who this Atari guy is, but I like him. So, I don't know. We'll reach out to more crowds and peoples. Exactly. Stop talking. I'm glad you joined, RJ. I'm glad you joined. These are some good questions. And that's exactly what the purpose of this stream is. So usually I don't really do streams like this, but I think it's about time we actually get like a stream and it gets started. And today we're going to be taking special requests. So actually, I'm going to make something in the channel, and I'll make it easy for people. So give me 1 minute. We're going to do this. We're going to go into... So here's what I'm going to do. And this is going to be a junk channel, so what we're going to do is we're going to allow people to join the Discord. And then there's actually going to be a junk channel where you can go ahead and submit your request. And then if you guys need to hit me up with any other additional details, because I know being limited on YouTube can be a little annoying. But having a live stream where you can kind of interact with the streamer is pretty cool. So, well, I might not do it this stream, but the next stream I definitely will have like a channel where people go ahead and submit things and I can react to them live and then kind of just look at stuff. Because you can't put too many links in the, YouTube here. So I'd rather you guys be able to put links in and stuff. So how do you guys think about that? Actually, how many of you guys want to do that right now? I mean, if you guys want to, we can go ahead and do that. I can just go ahead and make the channel real quick. Hold on. Let's see here. Create channel. We'll call it streaming live channel. All right, so let's do this. Streaming live channel. Hola. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to provide the streaming live channel. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a good way to look at it. And today's stream is really focused on comparing cosmology, but we want some cosmologies to compare. I think and so to get the real meat and bones of the stream, the reason why I'm doing cosmology. So the question comes down to, all right, Tari, why are you doing this, right? All right, so the reason I'm actually doing this is because the whole premise of this stream is that we're trying to create a narrative for people to follow. Many people don't understand Dragon Ball cosmology. Many people don't understand Sailor Moon cosmology. Many people don't understand DC and Marvel cosmology. So we get a lot of these random, crazy claims, and we're not sure where to go with them. So, in order to give you guys the best, most accurate answer I can provide for you, let's face this microphone upwards like that. To give you guys the best, most accurate answer I can provide, I'm going to be engaging with you guys, but I'm also going to be doing power scaling. I'm going to be using some art, some compare and contrast. We're going to be looking at scans. We're going to inquire about some scans. Perhaps we can put the scans down in the Discord so that people can get a closer look rather than just on the stream alone. Some people may have access, some people may not. So I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. If you guys go in the Discord, you'll see the streaming live channel. Anyone can type in it and post stuff, especially if they have requests. So just a heads up. But other than that, let's go and dive right in. All right, so at the 10-minute mark, you guys, for those of you who's just coming in, I just want to explain, guys, once again, we're going to be comparing and contrasting other different animes. different fictions, different power scaling. Hey, welcome, Andre. I'm glad you was able to make it. We're going to be comparing, contrasting different cosmologies, taking a closer look. Stride, I'm glad you made it as well. And life has been treating me quite good. I am feeling blessed. Cool, okay. Just glad you came in as well. That's good. Let's go. Let's keep it coming, guys. Share this link. I mean, share it with your brothers. Share it with your family members who like this stuff too. So, anyone you know who's into power scaling, go ahead and share that with them. But ultimately, this is going to be exactly how this is. But we're going to go over a couple things. And yeah, Rhea Trap, I see what you're saying, Rhea Trap Gaming. That's a really good point. I definitely want to take a closer look at that during this stream. We're going to really dive deep into different theories. What's true? What's false? What should I take into consideration? Take down some notes if you guys want to. Ultimately, power scaling isn't school. You don't build an academic career off of it, but it's a good way to leverage mental flexibility because you're dealing with numbers, scientific theories, possibilities, and many other aspects. This will teach you proper reading comprehension, proper compare and contrast, learning how to pick out context clues, learning how to do critical thinking and utilizing resources that you have available, learning different languages. Power scaling requires a lot of skill in these areas that are not necessarily trade skills that you would pick up in the real world, but these are skills that you would utilize when you're doing content creation to get the most accuracy. And when it comes to dimensional tiering, it's no stranger to that. So comparing cosmologies is very important. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. All right, so let's take a look. So one cosmology I'm sure we all are very familiar with. Hello, Amena Zebulon. One cosmology I'm sure we're all very, very familiar with is Dragon Ball. All right, he needs a degree in power scaling. So Dragon Ball is definitely one of the bigger ones that everyone talks about. But the reason is because it's one of the most explained ones on my channel. I am not going to... I mean, I don't know, Roz, Andre, Stride, you guys tell me, do you think I'm bragging when I say, as one of the individuals who helped pioneer the Dragon Ball cosmology scaling in the first place, since I was bringing this stuff out before Koyama even got on Twitter, before the pandemic really even went underway, I was promoting this stuff. Actually, heck, before even 2018. But again, I'm just bringing this to you guys' attention. So as one of the pioneers of power scaling in this case, not widely recognized as much as a lot of other YouTubers, I'm here to tell you that although I'm not mainstream, hopefully we can get there. But I'm here to provide you with that information. Let's do canon Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Heroes Cosmology. That's a good take. Thanks, Andre. I appreciate it. Thanks, Roz. Absolutely. Bro, I'm about to be like my boy Dexton. You know, guys, I was the one who invented power scaling, but nobody gave me credit for it. Nah, I'm playing. Yo, shout out to Dexton. That guy's hilarious. I mean, much bigger channel than ours, but still shout out regardless. That dude is hilarious. I didn't get any credit for jumping 60 inches. All right, so let's take a closer look. So let's take a look at Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is going to be one of my favorite ones to really take a closer look at. I'm going to be diving into some off-panel screens, just because, again, resources are scarce. But I'm going to be diving into some off-panel screens. Say, hey, how's it going? We're on Fizz. Look at us. Look at us. And I'm going to go ahead and eat I'm going to eat my cheese and pepperoni cracker. And no, I don't have any wine. I don't promote any form of alcoholism on the stream. So let's humble ourselves. Drink soberly. Be sober-minded, right? Boston. Now, God dang, that's good. So to begin with, some of the books I bought, I didn't buy as many as I could have, but Magi was definitely one of them. Magi is something I definitely want to look at with you guys too, because they also introduce higher dimensional scaling. But other than that, hey, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. All right, other than that, Magi has a lot going on in it that we're going to definitely talk about. I mean, one of the chapters is really cool. The many-layered God. So Magi is definitely one of those places with the cosmology is really interesting. Keep in mind, you can't ever judge a series cosmology off of one chapter. You got to read the whole series front and back. That's the hard thing about power. That hardest thing about power scaling is cosmology scaling, because if you don't have additional context in the story that helps support it, you're really just getting an incomplete product. I mean, you ever try to read the terms and conditions on a credit card, but you only read one part, but then you forgot another part, and that other part is the cause of why you didn't get the promotion or whatever you were going for? That's exactly what you're getting here. You could be saying, oh, so I get 0% interest, so I don't have to pay until it's like, no, you still got to make the monthly minimum payment. And you're like, oh, well, geez, I didn't know that. And it's like, yeah, you got to listen to the terms. So power scaling is the same thing. Same thing. Listen to the terms. So Magi is going to be one of the series we're going to take a closer look at. I will be diving deep into Dragon Ball Super. And what we're going to do is we're going to look into Dragon Ball Super and we're going to look at the OG Dragon Ball. But OG Dragon Ball doesn't really give you as much information as the Daizenshuu 4 would. So we might actually be examining the Daizenshuu 4 on live stream, maybe. But more or less, I really want to just kind of take a closer look at other series. And we're not going to look at plain series like Kimetsu no Yaiba. We're not going to look at Kimetsu no Yaiba. I mean, what cosmology can we really compare with them to like a bigger series? So yeah, this will be for the relatively larger series. Yu Yu Hakusho is definitely going to be on this list. So I'll go ahead and take a closer look at Yu Yu Hakusho as well. We can go ahead and give a compare and contrast to Yu Yu Hakusho. Actually, you know a good series? Let's do Bleach and Yu Yu Hakusho, if you guys want to. But let's first focus on Dragon Ball, though. All right, so let's do that. All right, so oh wow. Hey, Harado, thank you so much for the $4.99 donation. There it is. Been replaying Elden Ring and really trying to look at the item description this time around. Game has some really interesting scaling. I would agree. Devil May Cry is very similar. Devil May Cry is very similar. Devil May Cry is very similar. And that's really good, man. Thank you again for that donation. I really appreciate it. That means a lot. I'm trying not to be loud and pop off because $4.99 is a lot to me. Shoot. I was born in 1980. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of damage. Digimon Cosmology? RJ, I like what you're doing. I have heard a little bit about Digimon Cosmology, so I definitely like to look at it. Keep in mind, guys, I don't have time to read all these series on stream, so it's going to be a couple of skips I'm going to be doing. Like, I might look at a versus battle wiki. I might look at an article or two, kind of determine from what they're saying. Depends. So I may look at those things, but for now, oh, look at that, patterns. Anyway, Noah Webster, this is going to be another site. This is going to be one of our best friends. I'll be utilizing it to explain a couple of things people don't understand. So again, now that we're after the stupid 20-minute mark, insert ad, obviously, but we are going to now, and I mean now, like seriously, we're finally going to go ahead and take over. So let's go ahead and dive in. First and foremost, I'm not going to go too big in Yu Yu Hakusho. Let's really focus on Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is a very straightforward series. You know, like a lot of what characters can do is quite impressive, but I think what a lot of people underestimate about Dragon Ball is the series is very straightforward with what they're trying to, you know, articulate. So with that said, we understand there are a couple things in Dragon Ball. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go over one of the big chapters that I think is very impressive, personally. And that chapter is when, you know, some statements were made from some of the Kais and Goku. So one of the statements that we're going to go into, and I believe this is going to be very important, is when Goku does actually meet up to fight against Fat Majin Buu. Now, a lot of you guys may remember this battle, but it is a very important battle. So when Goku does meet Majin Buu, let's go ahead and pull up the scans. So one of the main scans you're going to see in this type of battle. So one of the main scans you see here is in the original Japanese manga, Goku does power up into Super Saiyan. This form is extremely. He goes from Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 2, and there are a couple of takes to really get around with this. You see, back in the day, the super exciting guys never came out. So we didn't know how many times stronger Super Saiyan 4 was. I mean, Super Saiyan 3 was. So there's no way to tell exactly how strong he is here. The only thing I can tell you, and we'll talk about feats in just a minute, is that Goku's power was felt so much that he violently shook the earth, right? And despite that, you get the classic image, obviously. So Goku is on a whole nother level here. Like a whole nother level. And I think it's very impressive to see where he came from, especially considering that, it wasn't always easy for Goku. Twin Star Exorcist? Definitely. Thanks for the recommendation. Appreciate it. Right now, Goku stands at a point where he is so powerful. You're seeing the scan here. And I think a lot of people need to realize this about regular Z. I don't know why anyone, and I'll explain that why in just a moment. I'm all over the place right now because there's so much to uncover. The next scan, everyone feels his power. And he's like, I'm sorry that took so much longer than the others. Okay, no, that's obviously the English translation. I don't know what the heck this says immediately. Is that E? I think it's E. No, see. I forgot. But I know it's like Goku speaks with a specific dialect, if that makes sense. So I do know that what Goku is saying here is definitely important. But if I were to try to translate it without using the translating lens, I know it would say something along the lines of like this. I know he says this is Super Saiyan 3 and something like that. All right. So I know what's that word? All right. So I'm obviously not going to get anywhere trying to guess because obviously it's not easy. Trust me, it's not. I mean, unless anyone else knows how to do the original translation. But again, I would advise that you guys, if you do know how to translate it, hey man, by all means, have at it. But for me, for the sake of expediency in the stream, I may have to go to a proper translator. I'm not going to go to the Viz because the reason is the Viz isn't as nice. And also, it's not as smooth. But yeah. But I know here, これが超 I think it's, hold on, that's close enough. Atari, everyone watching Atari's like, Atari, just move on. Can we get to the point? これが超 Super Saiyajin 3. And it's not actually 3, he says 3. これが超 Super Saiyajin 3. Alright, anyway, enough of the cringe. The main bottom line is Goku's like, this is Super Saiyan 3. Something along the lines is, I'm sorry that this took so much longer because I'm not actually used to transforming into this. And then I know Gohan's reaction here is like, Tosa! Obviously. But, he's like, is this dad? There's no way. And so Gohan is shocked because he can feel his father's ki. But for those who don't know the context, we're getting to that in just a minute. But Gohan is shocked because he could feel his father's ki. The problem is that in the next scan, the Supreme Kaioshin is like, that is Goku. And essentially, Kibito is surprised and saying, no, that can't be Goku because how can his power be felt from this far, even here? Like, there's no way we should be able to feel his power level all the way out here. Now, where is all the way out here? How many people know where they are right now? Jeopardy music. Ding, 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 ding. I'll let somebody in the chat type it. Ding, ding, ding. While I'm pulling up the next scan. Like somebody in the chat be like, hi, I got you, Atari. But yeah. Correct. Cool. Okay. Very good. Kaioshin. But anyway, they're in the realm of the Kaioshin. Why am I saying it like that? Because it sounds cool when I say it with that inflection. But essentially, yes, they are in the Kaioshin realm. What is the Kaioshin realm? Well, we'll talk a little bit about that. The Kaioshin realm is a realm that is literally outside of the universe. Now, what does that tell you? That doesn't tell you crap. You don't know anything about that. That doesn't make any sense. What the hell are you supposed to know about the Kaioshin realm? Well, I'm going to go ahead and break down. I have some older scans that I have here that I'm going to pull up. But essentially, it all makes sense in just a short amount of time. So let's talk a little bit about Dragon Ball's cosmology here in a very simplistic way. Here is, of course, a beautiful physical representation of the cosmology of Dragon Ball. This is going to be updated. This is going to be updated. Okay? But the point is, according to resources, the observable universe, which is infinitely expanding. Now, you might be saying, okay, Atari, what the heck do you mean by that? Now, we'll get into the Kaioshin realm, which is all the way up here. It's like, okay, Atari, get to the point. Where are we at with that? Okay, so the Kaioshin realm is 1/10 of all that is below, which is evident in Daizenshuu 4 and Daizenshuu 7. Now, it is also considered part or proportionate, not exact size, but proportionate to the other world. Okay? The other world, we'll go ahead and break that down because I think a lot of people need that. Like, I think it's like religious at this point. Everyone needs that scan broken down because everyone keeps denying it. Everyone is so skeptical about it. Everyone is always asking questions about it. Like, oh my God, what does it mean? What does it mean? Atari, tell me, what does it mean? Can it mean this? And then somebody's like, I think the translation means this. I have a Japanese friend who said blah, 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 blah. I had a Japanese, and I was like, bro, I literally asked a Japanese Smash player named Jagushi, also known as Fawcett. And you can look him up. He's a Marth player. I asked him verbatim in the Twitter DMs, can you translate this for me in their best ability? His translation was similar to the actual translation I did with the Yu Hakusho Forever, and the same one Herms did. But it was poor. Not because, and this is not as a poking fun, but because his English needed more practice. So just because you bring it to someone doesn't mean they're the best at translating language for language. That's why interpretation skills come. You ever have someone tell you like certain words in Spanish and they're saying certain slang words in Spanish? Like, if you ask anyone who's not from South America, you say, do you know the difference between Colombia and Venezuela and the in-between people known as the Guajiro? They'll be like, what the heck is a Guajiro? They wouldn't know what that is. But anyone from Venezuela or Colombia, they will know. They will recognize, oh, Guajiro, I know what that is. But just like and it's like, how do you describe that? That's their way of kind of in describing indigenous in a way. They don't say indígena. They may not say indígena. Perhaps. But it's just kind of showing you that, again, just because somebody can translate something doesn't mean they're always accurate. Moving on, and I had to bring that up because a lot of people think, they think they're slick. They think, oh, I know the language. Hey, Eddie, I know the language. Like, no. So as you guys remember the classical scan, here it is. Why am I bringing this up to you? Because again, the whole point is this is part of the introductory of the Daizenshuu. Okay? Now, for those of you who don't know, I can tell you verbatim, this is not page 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Okay? Because page 6 is the index, the table of contents. Page 7, 8, 9, and this is actually page 10. Okay? Technically. Well, no, it's actually not page 10, but you get the point. Because in Toriyama, you have the prologue, or the world, which is page 15. And from 15, from the prologue, which I'll show you the image of that in just a moment, the prologue page, which is page 15, we read from right to left. So to give you guys an explanation of that, this is page 15. Okay? All right. So this is page 15. This text you see here, this very important text, I cannot translate it at the best of my ability, but I would definitely use the best of my abilities to to utilize a proper translation. So if we go to text here, and it may not be perfect, trust and believe, it definitely will not be. I prefer to translate this slowly, but I'll let Google do its job, even though Google can suck monkey butt at times. The point is, you take the text, you copy it, you can go to translate, you go to Japanese. It says prologue, Dragon Ball world. A huge universe envelops the earth from a great height, Tenkai, which heaven is looking down. Everyone knows what Tenkai means. If you don't know what Tenkai means, okay, all right, I'm not going to knock you for that. But anyway, translating it is a different language is harder than people think. I agree. What we do in this stream? Oh, The Dark Knight, I'm glad you made it here. And the Republic of the United States of Brazil. Sorry, I didn't check my chat. I'm glad you're here. Brendan Jackson, welcome. Yakiel Amores, thank you again for popping up. You might be wondering, okay, Atari, what's going on? Hey, Dari, what's going on, brother? I'm like, all right, I'll be happy to tell you what's going on in the stream. What's going on as we speak is we're going over into different avenues of translations and interpretations of Dragon Ball to kind of explain the cosmology, to explain this individual feat. So right now, Tenkai. All right, so a huge universe. They don't just say a universe. Guys, how many of you guys think this is a big deal that they don't just say universe, they say huge? Why do they use the term huge? Anyone got any answers? Like, why do I feel like I'm teaching a class, bro? But how many guys here think they got an answer for that? But yeah. Hey Atari, can you narrate it? Yes. Dragon Ball no Sekai Yotaiuchi. Which Yotaiuchi, I think Yotaiuchi. Yukyo Kyodai no Uchu, which Uchu definitely means universe. Uchu ga chikyo osutsumi sorea harukana takami kara tenkai. I don't know. Something like that. But to convey the idea that it is expansive, could be. But then we have to look at the term. What does... So I recognize the kanji for huge, but not everyone does, right? So when we think about the term kyodaina, well, I don't know if it would be kyodaina, but I'm trying to remember. But I think it's kyodaina. Kyodaina, I could literally go on Twitch right now, on live stream, on another Twitch and say, yo, Seppuku-san, translate for me the term kyodaina. Kyodaina. What does kyodaina mean? And for those of you who want to see the actual text for kyodaina, it's this. There you go. What does that mean? Like, no, seriously. And I know it's like, Atari, don't nitpick adjectives. That's how we got into this outerversal baboonism in the first place. Yeah, I know. But sometimes you got to take a closer look because Japanese may use it in different contexts. But I do know this term usually can mean massive in most cases, or gigantic. So depending on the context, if we're talking about universe, I don't think we're talking about a normal universe because we're using adjectives such as gigantic. All right, so now, moving on to the next portion. Let me eat my cracker. Boston. All right. So let's go and get the next scan. And the reason I'm making this is because this is for any naysayers. So what was that? He's on page 15, 16, and this is 17. This is page 17. We're now on page 17. Holy crap. What do we do with this one? Let's do the same thing. Let's translate it. Let's translate some text. This is awesome. But anyway, as you see right here, I want somebody to type this out in the chat. Not because I'm just trying to be like annoying, but I want somebody to really highlight. Somebody just retype that in chat. What does that English word say? Because baboons, he doesn't know about dimensional tiering. He doesn't know. Meanwhile, let me eat this other cracker. Thank you, macadamia. And you know why I bring this up? Because people say words like, oh, but Toriyama he doesn't know a power scaler. He doesn't do dimension tiering. Or Daizenshuu isn't canon. Daizenshuu isn't canon. Let me eat one more cracker for good luck. Boston. Thank you, Rip Trap Gaming. I appreciate you too. Anyone who types it in, I appreciate you. Because y'all gonna learn today. It says original concept Akira Toriyama. It's so, they literally had to put it in English. That's Japanese. This was printed in Japan. We never got an English translation to my knowledge. And they literally said, yo, man. Hey, yo, dog. Yo, what's good, man? I'd be like, hey, hi. Can you put this in English? Okay. Original concept Akira Toriyama. Yokai. All right. And then they do it. They type it in. These are Japanese people from 1995. Typing in English. I'm not, obviously they know English, but I'm saying they're typing in literal English words just to describe, yes, in case you forgot, this is Toriyama's idea. I just had to bring that up. I had to really nail that in the coffin. So anyone challenging the cosmology, this cosmology was designed. This concept, everything we're about to read is from Toriyama. So let's go. Exactly, Yakiel. Yakiel Mores, I'm glad you see it now. So, you know, literally clip this. Clip this right now. Clip this statement. Original concept from Akira Toriyama on page 17 of the Daizenshuu 4 that was released, Daizenshuu Volume 4, which was released in the year of 1995, literally has in printed English before even going into katakana, hiragana, and kanji. Literally on the bottom segment, on the bottom left corner, they had to make sure they inscribed that this concept of the actual cosmology of Dragon Ball was from Akira Toriyama. No excuse. No excuse. I don't want to hear any downplay from here on out. Go ahead and clip it. Clip it. Clip that from there on out. I don't want to hear no excuse. Mic drop. You know what I mean? Atari. Healthy partner, how are you doing? I'm doing pretty good, Thor's Hammer. Thank you for stopping by. I'm glad to see you're doing okay. Dragon Ball is getting downplayed so many times. Isaac Bell, of course. It's kind of getting a little out of hand in some cases, but we still got to come back to the roots. All right, so we're going to be making a comparison. Now let's have all right. Now let's read this. We're going to read this statement in just a minute. Let's get into a little comparison fun. Let's have some fun, shall we? All right. Let's have a little bit of fun. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the homegirl, the queen herself, Beatrice, the Golden Witch. Is that Beatrice the Golden Witch? Yes, Beatrice the Golden Witch. Of course, Beatrice the Golden Witch. Just don't forget, it's Beatrice the Golden Witch. Not just Beatrice. Beatrice the Golden Witch. Okay? All right? I just want people to understand. All right? Now, as we're talking about Beatrice the Golden Witch, I'm just bro, if you actually played the game of Umineko, how many times they say Beatrice the Golden Witch? Stop talking. I'm glad you didn't hear of it because it's actually very infamous on the Versus Battle Wiki. Here's an infamous fake scan that they always push, kind of similar to the fake Goku scaling people do. This is what they say.
3D physical world and linear time. Higher dimensions. Transcendental realm beyond everywhere and every time. Alternate possibilities. The first layer. The sea of nothingness beyond all layers. Undefined form. Higher layer. The lower layer is just a fiction from this perspective. Evolving sphere. Higher layer. The lower layer is just a fiction from this perspective. Higher layer. The lower layer is just a fiction from this perspective. Realm of witches. Infinite hierarchy.
That's such a fan-made term. There's no way Ryokishi. There's no way Ryokishi 007, or sorry, Ryokishi single 7 or 07 would make something like this. He would never write something so sloppy like this. This is poorly written in a sense of it's poorly executed in explanation. It doesn't, it's not articulated in the way or fashion of Ryokishi 7 team. And it's not even in the game when you look for it. I've asked someone, can I find it in the game? I literally used that as an argument on Comic Vine before to upgrade Umineko. Somebody literally came at my neck and said, by the way, that's not even from Umineko. That's literally from a fan-made game. Yeah, they're connected to the 07 expansion series, but it's not connected to Umineko whatsoever. I'm like, well, geez, thanks for letting me know. Exactly, Andre. No series author is that straightforward. And you could tell if you play the game, you could tell. So let's get into the meat and bones of it. So let's look at dimensions comparison. So you see something. So here's a classic scan, because this is when we start comparing.
Something that's endless in one dimension can be less than endless in a higher one.
So what that means is something that's literally infinite in one realm can be less than that in the next realm, meaning it can be finite. The fact that a Manger sponge has infinite surface area only matters in a world of less than 3 dimensions. So in other words, this sponge, it's infinite surface area. Yeah, that only matters in the 3D world. Oh, and in the 3-dimensional world of reality, it has 0 mass. Not only is it not endless, it doesn't even exist. Very straightforward. This is how dimensional tiering should be, right? All right, cool. Now, obviously, Umineko is a lot more straightforward. I'm going to try to keep this as simple as possible. In fact, why don't we pause here for a little commercial break? All right, I'm back. But outside of that, let's go ahead and dive deeper. We're at the 43-minute mark. This is going to take about 20 minutes. So again, get ready, guys. So anyway. So the whole idea is we do know that one dimension is treated infinitely greater than the next. All right, cool. That's pretty awesome, I'd have to say. So does Umineko have a 4th dimension? Well, you'd be a baboon if you thought they didn't. They do. They actually do have a 4th dimension, and it was utilizing science. And yes, they do have a Manger sponge, which can be utilized in that context. We'll go into a little bit about it, but I'll go ahead and break it down in very simple terms. So let's talk about that for just a moment. All right, I'm sorry. I just just thought of that song for no reason. So yeah, let me go ahead and grab one of the scans. So again, what I'm going to be doing is going into the people, one of the Umineko scans. Ding 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 ding. Don't copyright me. Anyway. So it says here, invisible weapons, which turn the gaps between dimensions into a blade by utilizing dimension container technology and theoretically slice through any substance. Oh, okay. And what's the context of this? Let me see here. I don't think it was this one, but I think it was one where they talked about... Let's see here. Because I do have a couple of scans about how strong they can be, but... And this one is not giving me exactly the information I want, so let's do... All right. All right, very good. Yeah, no. I don't know why people are still using this scan. Let me actually see. Is this a real scan? Yeah, no, that's not a real scan. Even the Versus Battle Wiki is utilizing a fake scan. Anyway, just so I can grab the scan I was looking for. No, all right, this is terrible. Terrible level. All right, so basically, guys, long story short, to really compare the two, Umineko does have a fourth dimension. I know it does for a fact. It just, the scan is kind of obscure to find. But there definitely was people utilizing technology. But in case those who are wondering, they actually utilize real-life cat theory. Real-life string theory to some degree. They talk about, I think it's Schrodinger, I think it was. Schrodinger's cat theory. Or cat box, I guess you can call it, depending on how you pronounce it. But they essentially utilize those theories. They talk about fourth dimensional, they talk about machines that allow them to bypass the fourth dimension for certain worlds. But witches don't care about that, all right? So that's when we get into a little bit of the explanation about how strong they really start to get. So to give you a better explanation, let's talk about the Guardians which I guess I can just pull the image here. So let's go ahead and copy the link and put the image here. One of these images, as you guys can see, one of the traditional statements, and for those of you who are curious, like, yo, Tari, yo, drop the scan translation. Here you guys go, brothers. Anyway, long story short, it basically somewhat translates into the Guardians, who monitored the immigration situation of the fellow Ryun people who crossed the fifth dimensional wall to live in the current world. Keep in mind, for those who don't know, this little girl is, I think it's Hanyo, I think her name is. It's like a not younger Featherine, but it's like a representation of some sort. But yeah, that's Hanyo. So clearly they crossed the fifth dimension, all right? So they could walk past fifth dimensional constructs, all right? So now when we talk about Umineko, we want to talk about higher dimensions now. So, first and foremost, witches, for those who don't know, witches live on a higher world. All right? Cool. I'm going to go ahead and break this down to you, and trust me, we're going to go back to Dragon Ball, but I got to explain this. This is how it gets juicy. All right? Witches literally come from a higher dimension. All right? And that's clear in the story, and it's very clear. But here's an example based on what I know. Great witches who live on a far, far higher plane than we do are hardly any different from a creator or god. Whoa!
Would / could space-time be usable in dimensional tiering? Sorry, just wanted to ask a quick question.
No, absolutely. Great question, Macadamia. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Seriously. But to answer your question, space-time could be used for dimensional tiering. Space-time just depends on the context. So in the context of Umineko, as we were using, we know that they utilize space-time. We know they talk about 2 dimensions, 3 dimensions, but when they use the term higher plane, what's the context of the term higher plane? Obviously, a higher dimension. Come on, it's straightforward. But these witches here, they sit beyond, if I recall, I believe they sit beyond the Ryun people, if I recall. So these witches you're seeing on screen are 6-dimensional. The other great witches, such as Bernkastel, Lambda Delta, I think Beatrice is also one, but I think Beatrice is slightly lower. I could be wrong. But essentially, Beatrice is either 7th dimensional, according to these witches here, and Lambda Delta, I know she's of a higher dimension, for a fact. Like there's no denying it, because there are things called kakera, which are crystals that can contain stories and elements that even scale beyond them. The witches literally see them as a book, where each page is like its own world or own narrative. So to them, they're looking at it like, all right, yeah, hold that L. So in the cases of this particular scan, I'll give you an example. Let's go ahead and take another image link. Let's pull this up here. This is going to be easier. But there is some kind of difference between her and Beatrice. All right? So yeah. Lambda Delta is higher. Even compared to Burkhanstel, there's something strange about Lambda Delta's existence. How should I put it? Maybe like she's a being from a higher dimension. We already know how Umineko treats higher dimensional beings. So if you're infinite 5D, it doesn't matter. A regular 6D witch sees you as 0. Like you don't even exist to them. So in the Umineko cosmology, you have to be at their tier to actually scale to them. In some cases, it's acceptable. But in this case of Umineko, you gotta be relative to their tier to even mess with them or have some crazy hacks or exception. So based on what we're seeing, what do you guys think? Lambda Delta being 8th dimensional. Pretty fair, right? Pretty fair. All in agreement with that? An 8th dimensional Lambda Delta who scales beyond Beatrice who scales beyond the witches who scale beyond the 5th dimensional Ryun people, or the Ryun people who cross the 5th dimension, you could say. You know, just because you cross it doesn't mean you scale to it. But then again, Umineko does mention, oh yeah, you can have less than infinity. So the Ryun people, clearly, if they can cross it, they have some level of higher infinite speed. So again, based on that, that's pretty impressive, right, guys? Right? Yeah. Thank you, Isaac Bell. Appreciate you. Thank you for participating in. So now that we got this, I can certainly tell you they ain't no goddamn out reversal, that's for sure. I mean, come on. You've seen the scans. There's nothing suggesting she's out reversal. There are a couple scans that can put questions in your head that make you think they're out reversal, but they're clearly not. They're not. If you actually read the story, they're not. They're not. Trust me. Trust me. I've read portions of the manga and the actual game where the events happen. Trust me. Now, should I go over Featherine or should we dive back to Dragon Ball chat? Oh, nah, lower than that, Macadamia. So you're thinking she's more like a mid. She's like a solid mid complex multiversal. She's like in the solid middle. Because 6D and 7D, 6D is low complex multiversal. 7D is low middle. 8D is mid middle, like perfect middle. 9D is high middle. 10D is high complex multiversal. And then 11D is like high, like the end of complex multiversal. Like that's the end of the complexity when you get 11th dimensional. So it gets really, really, really high. At least according to the versus battle standards, which most people use universally, I'd suppose. But yeah, it's the same argument. All right, let's see here. Go over Featherine. All right, yeah. Let's go over Featherine. So Featherine is a being who's reached the realm of the witches, beyond. She's reached the world of the creator. Now, she's not the creator. The creator still is infinitely above her, like it's not even comparison. But Featherine is basically the living tribunal, I guess you could say. Or she's basically the Michael de Migros, or Lucifer Morningstar of the series. So she's very, 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 very powerful and has a very high authority. But let me show you exactly what happened. Let me show you what happened in the story. All right, so check this out. You're going to laugh. All right, so we're going to actually talk about this. So first, let's go ahead and bring this up. So let's copy this image. Let's bring up how powerful Featherine is. So a lot of people may be thinking like, okay, how powerful is she? Is she like planet level or what was the case? All right, here's this. And it's like here, very well, Lambda Delta. If you have your script in order, then she, I guess it's supposed to be come at me. It's kind of typo, but a script is a piece of cake with just one attack. Berkunstyle tells her, foolish Lambda, I never thought you'd be that stupid, or I never thought you that stupid. All right, this bewildering cute Lambda Delta, I have to aim for 1 point. Yes, her one and only weak point. The moon, it's supposed to be the memory shape object device on her head. Anyway, will defeat the evil mastermind, Aurora, which is Featherine Augustus Aurora. If I can just impact it enough to shake her existence, I have a chance of 1 in 100 million. Interesting. Hey, thank you so much, hardcore hardware G YouTube. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the donation of $4.99. That really matters a lot to me. Do you think the demons or the demons from Super Dragon Ball Heroes can be argued to have non-existence erasure or non-existence psychology had a hacks? Good question. To answer that quickly before getting back to the mainstream topic, I will say yes. I think they can erase you even if you don't exist, which is weird. It's like a conceptual erasure. Some of them can do that because remember, Toa was erased, but off of hatred alone, she just came back. Oh, yeah, the concept of hatred exists. Well, yeah, I mean, that's going to perpetually exist. All right, I'm coming back to life. Like, that's just Toa. I don't know how, like, Toa literally, man, I'm telling you, whoever marries her, good luck. So, yeah. So, anyway, what happens is, I hope that answers the question, by the way. Clarify me if it didn't. I'll copy link. So here it is. So she says here, right here, no need for the cats to interfere. For the heroic tale Lambda Delta is presenting me, I have chosen a suiting heroic story and ending to present upon you. So obviously, Lambda Delta is pissed off. She's trying to kill her. Here is what Featherine does to her. This is kind of to give you an idea of how powerful she is. Miss Awari. No, she doesn't actually say Miss Awari. I can imagine her voice just being like, Wari. No, not the Wari Wari. She'd probably say something like, Suimasen. But I will not adopt your script because I am the one writing the script from here on out. Frozen. Like, literally, I can hear the Sephiroth voice just saying, Mizawari. So what she does is she freezes Lambda Delta in space. And I don't care. The way the manga presents Featherine, you gotta admit, she's pretty cold. Well then, Featherine Augustus Aurora, screamed Lambda while gathering her own magic in a ball. And she's, bro, do you see what's happening? What a mess. And she's literally, bro. There we go. That's better. Better quality. What a mess. It's been a while since I wrote a battle scene. But it would be quite troublesome if I halt my pen at this development all of a sudden. Bro. Did you hear that? Now read the next one. That part I will leave for another day and write down with care. So you know what she writes? Here's what she writes. She was blown away and crushed against the bookshelf, and all of her limbs scattered on impact. Dead, she plummeted into the darkness and vanished. This should be an ending befitting your heroic act. Well then, now I will have to write an intense battle that leads up to this kind of ending. But as even you had to do, so I'm slightly drunk right now. So even a slightly intoxicated Featherine, and by the way, she says the exact same stuff in the Japanese, so don't challenge me. But the bottom line is, even here, guess what happens? She dodges, boop, hits the wall. All she does is hit a wall. She hits a wall. Lambda Delta is 8th dimensional. She is not wall level, but then guess what? Whoops. Monster. That is just one of the words with which to praise me. And that's it. All her limbs shatter. Her legs, arms, head. Just like she wrote. So guys, before I move on to Dragon Ball, what do y'all think? What do y'all think of Featherine? She pretty cold, right? I mean, we gotta give her a round of applause. This girl dripped out. She pretty cold. That's why I said Featherine is at least, and it's like, oh, is Featherine infinitely above Lambda? It's like, not really, because Lambda can't even get to her level. Because Featherine's beyond the level Lambda's at. Because the creator level was far higher than Lambda. So then you go, at bare minimum, Featherine is either 9th, but I don't see her being 9th dimensional. I see her being greater than that. Because of the authority she has over the burst. I could see her, since she's on the creator realm, I would see she may even be 9th, infinite 90 to 10th dimensional. Personally. Rhea Trap, you said Drip Sauce a hater. Featherine a strong girl. I would say more than that. Yup, infinite 8D. I would actually say more than that. You know why? Because Featherine comes from the creator realm and Lambda can't even touch that. And Featherine beat her while just being drunk and wasn't even trying. She was just playing around with her and literally wrote her off like a story. So I would say Featherine is definitely infinite 90 for sure. Because if lambda delta is 8th dimensional, even if lambda delta is low 8th dimensional, she's still infinitely greater than 7D. That's the way Umineko treats dimensional tiering. But in this case, based on what I've read, Featherine is definitely up there. She's definitely up there. And I mean, you want my opinion, I think she's beating the anti-spiral, but we're not going to have that conversation. Y'all ain't ready for that. But now, literally every character that has drip is just cold. Can't be. Literally every character that has drip is cold. You can't prove me wrong. Hey, I feel you. Feathering equals not feminist. Hey, man, that's what I'm saying. She's straight up. But the thing is, it's like people really think Manga Goku can scrap with this, bro. Goku's strong, but Manga Goku ain't scrapping with it. Or can he? Hey, Goku, you ready to see this girl get bodied? Hey, Featherine is Roshi. I wanted to see what kind of script you can write to me and you. Anyway. So yeah, that's a brief talk of Featherine. But let's go here. Back to Dragon Ball. Now that we're back to Dragon Ball Z, let's talk about it. Thousands of life forms, repeating the rise and fall, glittering. Thus, science produces all kinds of miracles and dragon dances sideways at them. I don't think that's exactly what it's saying. I think it says something completely different. So whatever it says is definitely not what the hell I just read. Whatever it says. So, yeah. I'm going to dismiss that. But, yeah. I just know that this is definitely something that's really important. So this is page 15, 16, 17. You guys ready for page 18? Guess what page 18 is? The original concept of Toriyama, by the way. Page 18. That's right. This is page 18. I said page, not Android. Literally. A world that, like, literally, it's right there. The supernatural world governed by the gods. Right where it says, and it also even says it here, the cosmos. What more can you say, bro? Oh no, Macadamia, Umineko is not around. It is 9D. Actually, no. Featherine is weaker than the creator, so either Featherine is infinite 9D and the creator is infinite 10th dimensional, or Featherine is low 10D and the creator is infinite 11th. One or the other. The creator's guaranteed infinitely above Featherine. Here's the thing though, Featherine can be 10D because can be the creator because she can easily merge with him at any time she wants. Because she's essentially the second closest. So, yeah, that makes sense. You know why you got an ad. Next up, let's go ahead and have a little bit of a conversation about King Kai being right here just chilling. So the next scan on page 19, by the way, for those who are wondering, it looks similar, but it's just showing like everything. And just to kind of give you the context, it's important to kind of see everything all together. This is what the page looks like. And so yeah, Goku, that's why King Kai was right there. King Kai was right here, and Goku was saying, hello. But then you have the Supreme Kai, and then you have Heaven here, and then you have, I believe, the Son of Heaven, and then you have Bubbles. All right, I hope I made someone in the stream laugh. I hope someone in the stream laughed at my impression. Just somebody. I just need one person to laugh at that. But yeah, anyway. But yeah, then you have Bubbles. Must be careful, Goku. So DBS Goku Slam. We're not there yet. We'll get there though. So comparing cosmology, Goku's strong, but the afterlife transcends. But you might be wondering, what comes on page 20? That's a good question. The classical page, aka the universe. In Dragon Ball Z, this is the universe, which is the infinite space that expands where the unknown live. Something like that. I've said this so many times, but that's essentially it. So, with that said, this is very important and impressive because space is full of so much in Dragon Ball. So this is infinite space. But then we get another scan that talks about infinite expansion. You know, and I'm not talking power pole where it's like, okay, pause, actually. Anyway, so this talks about infinitely expanding. Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, 1 million, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of light years. You know what I mean? And it explains the vast size of the actual universe and how insanely large it is. Okay? I think it's very good to do this when you're writing a narrative in this case, because what they're trying to educate us on is everything that we need to know. They even break down the Earth, which is in the northern part, the southern parts, and much more. They even break down the lookout. But there's a little bit more to understand than just these basics. It also comes down to the rankings, such as the Kaioshin and much more. So one of the most common statements most people were wondering about was, I guess you could say it like the room of spirit and time. I'm going to take a closer look at that a little bit, just for a little bit. The room of spirit and time in conjunction. So we know that the Earth, we know the universe is infinitely expanding, and then the actual space is infinite. Cool. No big deal. Afterlife transcends that. But there's a little bit of an in-between. What's in between the transcendence? Because people will say, all right, if it transcends it, then afterlife's 4D. No, not necessarily, because there's a little bit more that's going on in between. So outside of the room of spirit and time being the size of Earth, which is confirmed here, the room of spirit and time is so durable, though. It can handle the battle power of 2 Super Saiyan gods. If you're still wondering if it can. Let's go to Dragon Ball. Actually, yeah, let's go to Dragon Ball Super. Let's go to my library. Yeah, whatever. Go to my hearts. Let's go to Dragon Ball Super. All right. Let's start off chapter 6, where Champa talks about the neutral dimension. Yep. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Here it is. The tournament will be held on a nameless planet in the neutral zone. And it will start around 10 a.m. on 1 solar week, okay? And then we have here. I think it's here in this chapter they train. Is it this chapter? No, it's not. It's actually... Let me see here. All right. Chapter 5 should be. Yeah, here it is. Chapter 5. Yeah. All right. The reason I know it's chapter 5 is because something. Is it in this chapter? It's here. And somewhere. Where the heck did you go? Because in Goku fights here, and it's not there, and it's not here. It's not chapter 7. It can't be. Oh no, that's the end of it. Die. There it is. The Room of Spirit and Time. Hey, what do you think? About what? The guys from Universe 6. Do you think they're strong? Of course they are. What makes you think that? The God of Destruction, Champa. He proposed the tournament after seeing us train. He must be confident. Oh, I mean, I see. Man, you're always smart. Who wouldn't be compared to you? All right. And then he's really like, yep, stop acting like a damn kid. Act your age.
Aw, come on. You're the one who says Saiyans are still young until they hit their 80s. I'm talking about your mental age. Huh?
Enough talking already! Vegeta powers up to Super Saiyan Blue, comes down, takes the glove off. Goku's like, I see. This place isn't gonna break if we go on a rampage. Alright, let's go all out, just like old times. And obviously, Goku and Vegeta get ready. You know, boom, clashes. Goku and Vegeta continue their trading in the room of spirit and time for... Wait, what? Okay, for the room of spirit and time for 3 days. Which means they trade for 3 years.
Oh, but Naruto and Luffy has more stamina.
Yeah, shut up. More stamina. Please. Get out of here with that, bro. I'm sorry, his face, this dude's ugly as hell. Anyway, back to the main point is, guys, as you can see, if the room of spirit and time isn't gonna break, man, get out of here, girl. Nobody cares about y'all no more. Anyway, if the room of spirit and time isn't gonna break from 2 Super Saiyan Blues, that either means 2 things. The room of spirit and time is literally just the surface, like the ground. This part, the ground is as big as the earth, and then the rest of the sky is as big as the universe, or it's possibly even greater. The reason I tell people this is because what people need to recognize is the room of spirit and time is a time dimension. Now, a lot of people don't understand what that means exactly, but I'll explain it and I'll be happy to. A time dimension is essentially a dimension made of complete time. In the case of the Elder Kai, he literally describes it verbatim, Jigen no Toki. And if those who don't think I have the scan, you think I don't have the scan ready to be pulled up at any time, you must have lost your mind. Boom! Here we go, baby. So obviously, here is the Elder Kai speaking. Goku is just frustrated because he can't sense them. And then that's when the Elder Kai goes ahead and then he mentions the obvious. Where he says this scan right here. All right, hold on. This is when he says one of the infamous quotes. And he's like,
they're in another dimension. A dimension of time. It's a time dimension.
and that's what he tells him straight up. And Goku's like, huh? You're able to tell that all the way from here? Something like that. And then he's just literally talking about them. He's like, whoa. You know, that's what a real Supreme Kai should be capable of doing. And then he's just like, he's just pissed off because he's like, yeah, thanks for the diss, Goku. But anyway. Sorry, I have arrived. Welcome, Retro. Dude's toxic. Not worth really talking about. So the first Goku versus Hit fight during Universe 7 Goku arc took place in the neutral zone. Correct, Rio Trap. Now, next thing. I can't say I would be surprised if Auxiliary turns out not to be... I can't say any of that on the stream. But anyway, more stamina, bro. Kid Goku swam for like a day and a half straight across the planet with no rest. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Like, it depends on the task. Like, if Goku's fighting characters at his level, he's going to run out of stamina quick, just like we would. Because he has to exhaust so much power. That's why he only lasts for a couple minutes. And their fights are so fast, it wouldn't even matter anyway. But, like, anyway, the main bottom line is, like, this. I think that this is a really impressive scan. Because this statement really, like, goes to testify exactly what is being said. And I think we need to, like, really understand a little bit more. Because, like, it's a room of spirit and time. It looks like they purposely put Boo inside it. Of time. Yeah, so it's like, yeah. It's a... and he's like, anyway, I'm... let's see here. Anyway, says here, says, it's a different dimensional world of time. And it's like, I don't know why. I think he's saying something like, don't you feel it as well? He's like, are you fighting in a place like that? It's a room of spirit and time. Why? Like, he's like, he doesn't actually say, why do you know? I know he says, wow, that's amazing that you can tell from the here. This is a terrible translation. But, whatever. And I know Goku just whispers, hey, maybe that's what a real Supreme Kai could be capable of. Well, Goku, that was certainly rude. Anyway, I've heard people say that Naruto, Ichigo, and Luffy have more stamina than Goku did. That's BS. Of course. Atari H&B, can we scale the cosmology of Bleach or Sailor Moon? Absolutely, my friend. Atari H&B, what do you think of the guy who thinks Cthulhu could beat Goku? I think it depends on what it depends. I'm gonna answer that question simply, Thor. What does he know about Dragon Ball? That's what I'm gonna ask all of you guys. Anyone who always thinks that a character beats Dragon Ball, ask him, what do you know about Dragon Ball? I know this, and like what do you actually know about it? Because if you don't know anything about it, then you can't. I'm not, and this is not a call out or anything, but like even other power scalers who are very infamous, Seth, Carthu, Chuck, they don't even go into this stuff. They don't. I think they Seth doesn't deal with dimensional tearing. Chuck goes a little bit too haywire on them, and then he backs down. Carthu is too passive on it. He's way too beating around the bush, and he doesn't really, and he tries to keep everything very low level and very entry level. And he's not really a comparison power level. He's a good Dragon Ball analysis power scaler, but he's not someone I would say can actually compare. If I said to him, who would win, Featherine, Augustus Aurora, or Goku? He wouldn't really know how to answer that. And based on what evidence I provide, he'd probably go with Featherine. But when you look closer at Dragon Ball and see what they can do, then you start to realize, like, Dragon Ball's stronger than I thought. Interesting. Yeah. But anyway, you guys get the picture. Now, as you can see here, where Bobbity is like,
Yeah. Boo not scared. Big hair make you big funny.
Yes, I'm inclined to agree. This Super 3, whatever you call it, it's ridiculous. Majin Buu. Deborah, hurry up and destroy the Supreme Kai. We have an appointment to make.
Deborah, Dad, Boo ate him.
Trunks, you better get a move on fast. No, let me stop. I'm having too much fun. Boo does sound like Elmo. That's the funny part. That's the thing. Boo actually sounds like Elmo. It's just more annoying because it's like,
Big hair make you big funny.
and Elmo's more like,
Elmo say free Boosie.
no. Anyway. Hey, what's wrong, Boo? I thought you said something about making me dead. Anyway, as we're watching here, you can see that the idea is, now that we have an understanding, the room of spirit and time is like a fourth dimensional realm. So let's go ahead and head on over to my little clip studio. God dang it, why is it so small? I didn't want it to be this small, but whatever. We'll work, we'll make do with what we can. All right, so now let's go ahead and explore a little bit deeper into this subject and category. All right, yeah. All right, come on. Darn it. Whatever. All right, so baseline is to kind of give you guys an idea, even though it's a small screen, and I can fix it, but not right now. All right, so look. All right, here's the observable universe. All right, cool. Actually, no. This, and I'll make this simple. This right here is the infinite size universe. It expands. This is the true infinity of the universe. It's absolutely infinite, period. But within the middle of this universe exists a world. These little bright stars you see, that is the observable universe. And it is expanding infinitely. You see, the black part you see here, this part is observable. Okay? So this part, observable. The black part right here is the infinite space. Where does time go? Well, we know there's time because this blue part, we're going to call it, we'll just call it space-time. Now, you might be saying, well, how do we know that's space-time? Well, we know this because remember in episode 8 of Dragon Ball in 1989, they told us, oh, hey, this is the realm where Gohan and Goku are separated between space and time. The father and son sleep. Cool. So space-time. All right, cool. So this is 4D. This black space here is infinite 3D, and then obviously everything else is just three-dimensional matter, you know. So this is high universal here in the black space, and everything outside the space-time is 4D. It doesn't actually look like this, but this is just a visual representation. Now let's go over a couple other nuances that need to be discussed when it comes to looking at this at a closer scale. A lot of things that people underestimate and don't really examine as well as I believe they should is this right here. So this is one of the things that people don't really look at. So when we come back to the scan, we think about the observable universe infinitely expanding. We know the living world is where all life resides, so it's actually higher than these alternate dimensions. The room of spirit and time is completely separated from this. So the room of spirit and time is not part of this at all. The room of spirit and time is its own little thing. It's here, but like imagine if actually here's a better way to think of it. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Here's a room of spirit and time. It's purple. It's all the way on the earth. There's a separate room of spirit and time somewhere in here that Miras knows about. And then there's another one that Frieza may have found. So, cool. These are each durable enough for a Super Saiyan Blue not to destroy it. I don't know about you guys, but the bare minimum, I would say it's fair to say they have enough strength comparable to a Universe Plus structure, as they are a time dimension. It's completely separate. So, being a time dimension, these are 4D realms. I think it's very simple and straightforward. Now, people may say, why? Why do you call them 4D realms? Well, remember, we have the past, present, future, and one of the other scans I have, and I'm actually going to pull that up on stream for just a brief second so people can kind of get a better visualization of it. So let's do that. So to give you guys a better visualization, let's take a closer look here. See that? There you go. This scan is important. Oh, by the way, Hardcore G. Oh, thank you so much for the $1.99. Why do you think the Versatile Wiki says GT Goku greater than DBS Goku? It's probably because they're full of clowns. And I'm not trying to say that as an insult, but it's probably because people don't think critically. They just want to say stuff out. They think he's cooler. They probably enjoy him more. So they don't really actually have a strong enough basis for their argument. There's nothing to really say about that. They're just all over the place. They're baboons. Right? Like, that's it. Moving forward with this scan, I'm just going to show you guys and keep this simple. As you can see, we have the time room. What's the time room? The past, present, and future. All time is created in that room. So when time is created in a specific room, in a specific location, in a nexus, in a point, something's going on, right? So that's what I'm here to explain to you guys. All right? So yeah, let's enlarge in that having that too small.
Not okay on my watch. Because I'm Popeye the Sailor Man.
Oh, look at that. Interesting. So these are not the same size. I thought I would have had them locked. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. Maybe that'll work. All right, whatever. We'll fix that after. Anyway, hey, Peter, let's go ahead and fix this. As you can see, so these purples are room, spirit, and time. We got the 4D space-time. Cool beans. Pretty straightforward, guys. Everyone following me? Makes sense? Yeah, I saw it, Retro. Thank you again. Now let's shrink this bad boy down. And again, I want to thank you again. Just again, Hardcore G. I appreciate you, really, seriously. So we look at this, guys. We know about these places. Now, the Garlic Jr. Dead Zone. What is that? People may be like, oh, you're a Meshi. I don't know. Like, all right, cool. You don't know what it is. All right, whatever. Cool. You don't know what it is. But the Garlic Jr. Dead Zone is a hyperspace. I went over the last stream, and I'll do it again. The hyperspace in most science fiction is always associated with a higher dimension. Now, most people might say, well, isn't that just higher space and time? Well, it was going to suck up the heavenly world, which would include one of the rooms of spirit and time. Now, is it infinite? Probably not. Hard to tell if it is. There's no evidence. We don't know if it is. It's really vague, but it has more than 3 dimensions. So is it 4D because it has time? Not necessarily. It's actually a 4D dimension because it's a hyperspace. But it also... So I'm going to make it like a box. A lot of people might find this challenging, but it's a 5D space. But it may be infinite. But we don't know. We have no confirmed. It's definitely not an infinite 5D space, as there's nothing to confirm it is. The only thing we know is it's likely 5D because it has 4D spatial dimensions and then 1D time dimension. Actually, not even one time. One temporal dimension, 1T. So overall, as a dimension or a measurement figuratively, it's technically 4D, but because of the time dimension, it's technically that. What about the Room of Spirit and Time? The Room of Spirit and Time has 3-dimensional space within itself, but it's a 4D dimension mostly because it's mostly made up of time that's super thick. It still is a really big world, but it's very durable, as you can see. I mean, how can something the size of Earth have that level of durability and just be 3D? Yep, you could be as durable as something Super Saiyan Blues can be. Like, doesn't make any sense. So it's a little off the mark. Keep in mind, if you destroy this part of the living world, you're not going to destroy the Room of Spirit of Time. All right? These are completely separate from the macrocosm or the universe. They're completely separate. We have to factor that in. So they're not technically part of it. I know I said that before in the scan where I said the living world's part of it, but it's not. So, a non-infinite 5D world, 3 infinite 4D worlds, or at least 3 4D worlds that are the size of Earth but have the durability of an infinite 3-dimensional world. Cool. Pretty cool. Pretty strong. I mean, you have the time room, which has the past, present, and future. That's pretty strong. But it starts to get a little more complicated because you got the demon world. Demon world, according to Toriyama, is small in scale, so we don't really know what it is. We just know it's likely a 4D demon world because it's not the same space-time. Doesn't occupy the same space. It's also separate. We don't know much about it. We just know this is kind of a general scope about the cosmology, guys. But there's a little bit more to discover than here. So we know this. This is the baseline of the cosmology. So we got the universe and everything in between. Now let's dive back into our scan that we had earlier. So I'm really gonna dive back into the scan we had earlier. And actually, when I dive back into the scan, let's go ahead and take care of this so we don't have any more problems. Yep, we do something like that. I'm going to have another window capture device. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Oh, beautiful. Yes. So I'll be able to kind of alternate between the two. So this is great. I'll be able to alternate between the two. So yeah, pretty cool. So when I need it, just put it down. There we go. All right, so now we can so this is gonna be a lot more convenient to explain. So now we can take a closer look. So we see here, as you can see, genuinely speaking, you have these, man, Featherine, nobody likes you. Get out of here. No, I'm just kidding. As you can see, you have these universes. You have the in-betweens. So now when you see the scan, let's go back to our scan. That can't be Goku. Saiyan powers are not strong enough to be felt this far away. Well, it is, and I don't think that's a good thing. Okay, anyway, whatever. Funimation dub. The point is, this dimension, all right, let's bring back up our map. All right, cool. Now we have the afterlife. We just read a scan about that, right? Didn't we just read a scan about the afterlife transcending dimensions that are invisible? Well, we're not done yet, you baboons. No, I'm joking. You guys aren't baboons. But anyway, there's one more dimension in here that we are going to include. And I don't know if it's actually... All I know is this. I just know it's this. Wherever it is, it sits in here, and it's kind of like this. You might be wondering, what the heck is that? And I know this is going to piss some people off, but when you use the term several dimensions, and you factor in how strong you have to be to destroy the general macrocosm, I think it's an appropriate investment to say this is a fifth dimensional feat, and I actually think this is actually an infinite fifth dimensional realm. Verbatim. And that's, you guys are going to be wondering, who can tell which place I'm talking about? I'm not even going to bring it up. Who could tell what I'm talking about? Who could tell? Let's see. Let's look in the chat. Nope. Actually, yeah, this is 100% fifth dimensional. This is 100% fifth dimensional. In fact, it might even be higher. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. We'll come to this, though. Most normal. Don't worry about it. All right. So nobody can guess it. That's cool. We'll save it for later. I will save it for later. We'll save it for later. Surprised nobody guessed it, though. Nope, that's not the fifth dimension. We'll save this dimension for later. Actually, I made a mistake. It's actually not even here. This dimension is completely outside of everything. Or it's beyond it. It's beyond. It's beyond. We'll talk about it in a little bit later, but let's continue with the most. I'll give you guys a clue after. Let's talk about the actual Kaioshin realm. All right. So we know the Kaioshin realm. We know the classic statement. We know that, the Kaioshin is like, the Kaioshin realm is definitely a super, super big realm. If we take a closer look here, we know that... Isaac Bell. Oh, shoot. Yo, Isaac Bell. Yo. Shout outs to Isaac Bell, yo. Guys, yo, give him some fire. Give some fire in the chat for Isaac Bell. He got it. He got it. He got it. You got it, Isaac. You got it. That's a W. That's a W for you, my brother. Y'all are close though. Definitely. But yeah, we'll talk about that. Yep, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Yo, fire for Isaac Bell, yo. Good job, man. So anyway, with the oh, look at that. We getting some subscribers. Oh, we getting some active live subscribers. Yo, I appreciate it, man. We went from 1788 to 1790. Shoot, we're almost in the steampunk era. Nah, I'm just playing. Yo, guys, let's get to 2023. Oh, shoot. Oh, you know what? That's cool. Cool. Okay. I'm glad you mentioned that, though. Yo, Andre, the mental realm. Oh, my God. Yo, Andre's the G. Andre's top G. Top G. Andre, I'm going to buy you a Bugatti. I'm going to buy you a Bugatti after this. No. But as you can see for the King Kai, he's like, so King Kai's just chilling here, right? Is our boy King Kai. It's like, it clearly says dimension that transcends the dimensions invisible. All right. So first off, guys, I'm going to ask you a rhetorical question. And I'm going to circle it with high lime green because it's annoying. Is this room of spirit and time? And is Demon World? And is the Dead Zone from Garlic Jr.? Are these worlds now think about it. Are these worlds actually, visible to the human world? Are these worlds visible to the human world? Yes or no? Are these visible? Andrew Tate. Exactly. Cool. Okay. Thank you. Let's see who else. Who else joining in on that? Getting interaction. Oh, God dang, I dropped it. Thanks, Roz. I appreciate you, man. Yup, Roz saying no. Probably not. Most normal saying no. Rhea Trap saying no. Gaming saying no. Isaac Bell saying no. Yep, that's it. That's it. And Dark Knight say I thought Dark Knight said no, but he probably say no anyway. Andre saying no. Right. Oh shoot! God dang! I got all this dog fur on me. Anyway, the human world can't be visible. It says dimensions transcends the dimensions that are invisible to the human world. These dimensions are invisible. So if Garlic Jr.'s realm is 5D, and even if it wasn't infinite, and you're transcending it, bro, and I'm going to explain this in a little bit because Koyama's statement, but we're going to use pink because that's kind of what it is. The afterlife transcends this. So all dimensions below, it transcends. The afterlife being a six-dimensional construct. You know, people may say, well, how? How? Explain it, Tari. So I'll explain, and I'll keep it simple. But the reason I'll explain, and I'll keep it very simple. So if we look at one of the scans I had before, right? Initially, I have the afterworld as 5D. But then Koyama said it's six-dimensional, or it makes sense for it to be six-dimensional. When you factor in the dead zone for Garlic Jr., that makes a little bit of sense. It does. It honestly does. Because it's not just the afterlife. It's the space between the afterlife, and it's not the afterlife itself that's 6D, all right? I'll explain that. The afterlife is likely 5D, but the reason I don't have it as 5D and I have it as 6D is because here's the catch. The afterlife has a fourth dimensional hell, which is infinite, according to Koyama, right? But what would that mean for the realm of Enma? What would that mean for the realm of heaven? But then what about the realm inside of heaven where Goku raced the East Kai? Why is that realm an extra dimension? It's finite, but why is it a finite extra dimension in there? Could it be 5D? But there's no time in the rooms. There's no time, so we know it's straight up spatial, but it starts to make you wonder. But I'm going to be honest with you. Usually, I would say this is 6D. But I'm even going to say there's not enough solid evidence to say the afterlife alone is 6D. So we're going to keep it at 5D for now. Keep following me. It all makes sense. Hey, man, thank you, Explode V2. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Keisha Sharma, I appreciate it. Thank you. I definitely like Bruin always acting. But let's see, guys. Based on the information we have, the afterlife transcends dimensions invisible. But I'm actually going to go a step beyond, and I'm actually going to talk a little bit about the actual Universe 7. And we'll explain a little bit more. And this is going to upgrade the neutral zone. Oh, I personally think it will. So the afterlife transcends dimensions that can't be seen in the human world. All right, cool beans. The Kaioshin realm exists outside of it. But what's the space between the Kaioshin realm? As you guys will see here, I'm drawing it. This is the Kaioshin realm. What's the space between the Kaioshin realm and the space between the general universes? I mean, the space between the afterlife and Kaioshin realm. We don't know. The afterlife is a fifth dimensional construct. But the space between the afterlife and Kaioshin realm, that can't be just separated by fourth dimensionality. Nah, it has to be something else. Something extra dimensional to keep them from colliding. Because the afterlife, it's logical, it's an infinite structure, but and it's confirmed from Koyama saying the true infinityism of the actual universe. It shows the Kaioshin realm. It's 1/10 of the macrocosm, but we don't actually have a legitimate size for it. It could be a finite extra dimension, but the point is, as a place, the afterlife exists. The space between the afterlife and the Kaioshin realm, that's where you start to get into the discussion for 6D. Because the container, right? Because it contains all the universes within. But, that is when we start to get into something else interesting. And the only reason I say this is because we know for a fact the afterlife has the laws of nature. It goes beyond these dimensions. It has an extra dimension within the extra dimension, despite the extra dimension, though, should be 5D as well. It's like it has a 5D inside of a 5D because the extra dimension is beyond the heavenly realm. Well, the heaven part of the afterlife. The heaven part of the afterlife should parallel the hell, because hell is the fourth dimension. Heaven should parallel that. And they're all infinite. So in the context of having a higher dimension where Goku raced to East Kai, that should also be a higher dimensional realm. Now, it doesn't need to be higher spatially, because you could still put a three-dimensional object. You could still put a three-dimensional object into, you know, a fourth-dimensional object or a fifth-dimensional object of something of even greater proportions. You know what I mean? So you could put a 5D. If you're a 5D world, I could still throw a 3D ball in there. Because you're talking about a 5D world in terms of durability, and you're talking about a higher plane of reality, which, let's go into a higher plane real quick. So the term plane literally means level, but a lot of people don't actually know this. So when you type in the word plane, where you're talking about the level of something, plane in astronomy is the imaginary surface supposed to pass through any of the curves describing a celestial sphere. So even if you're still talking about just plane, a higher plane is referring to the higher geometry, in this case, as you can see here. But when you say higher reality, reality literally refers to the form of any existence of anything, true or fact, and indistinct from a mere appearance. So in the context of higher reality, you're talking about higher laws, higher measurements, higher existences, which means more ideas, more possibilities. When you have higher possibilities, that means you have potential of higher logic. Could there be a higher infinity within the higher infinity math? Like, could the math we use in our world mean nothing in their world? There's a lot of questions, but the general term in the context of what the author is trying to have us understand is this is definitely a Toriyama concept. This is definitely trying to tell us, yeah, this is a higher world. This is a gigantic universe. It's much higher than you expected. Remember, there wasn't no 12 universes back then. It's like, yo, this is way bigger than you would even think it was. I was like, wow. It's crazy. Hey, what's up, Hydro? Welcome. Absolutely. Join anytime, man. Seventh dimensional. Yep. So that's why Koyama mentioned the fifth and sixth dimensional plane. Correct, Andre. Correct. It's obscure. He believes it could be, because if I grab the scan, Koyama says it could be fifth or sixth dimensional. Now, he was asked several times, and I know a lot of people say, "Oh, but no, you can't use Koyama." You know, man, like, I don't, and they don't even know how to talk anymore. So I feel there's a lot of disconnect there. So when people's like, "Oh, but he just said this is my cosmology," it's like, yeah, but he's only saying that because people keep harassing him. They won't leave him alone. So now his answers become very arbitrary, become very difficult, becomes hard to answer. And I can't blame him for not wanting to give a straight answer because, honestly, when you have people saying things like this, it becomes a problem. So, for example, Koyama is very straightforward with his answers. And I'm still going to utilize his information because it backs up the Daizenshuu and a lot of other statements. Again, let's see here. For those of you who are wondering, yes, he does say it. Hell is infinite. The so-called hell is the fourth dimensional world. It is infinite, including the universe. All right? Straightforward. I don't think there's any reason to go beyond that. But here, I think Goku lives in the three-dimensional world of our Earth, in the parallel world Earth. It is the same as an Earthling. I think it's reasonable to think that the gods, including the god of the world, live in at least the fifth and sixth planes. Okay? When Koyama was asked, does that mean that the afterlife transcends space-time? He responds, yes. Yes, it does. Okay? He even goes, the views of the original author Akira Toriyama are probably primary, but if my personal opinion is allowed, I think it is a world of higher dimensions. Now, most people say, oh, see, he's talking his opinion. His opinion? Chat. Does Toriyama agree with Koyama's opinion? Tell me, based on the scan we just read a scan right here. This scan right here, when we just read in Daizenshuu 4. All right, reconnection successful. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what was going on with the stream, but we're back. All right, like I said, definitely the author arguments make things complicated, confusing. Exactly, macadamias, because people don't know how to properly use it. But yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad everyone is able to understand. Akira Toriyama definitely is going to agree. I'm going to trust the guy who worked on the series' opinion a lot more than the opinion of fans. Thank you, Harvado. So, like right here, the views of the original offer are probably primary, but in my personal opinion, I think it is a world of higher dimensions. Yeah. I mean, Koyama's answering this question after what? This is 2022, I believe, right? 2021. There we go. 2021 where he answered this question. Bro, this is 2020 freaking one. Like, get a grip, guys. This is like, let's see, 25, 26, yeah, 20, just about 26 freaking years since Toriyama made the Daizenshuu 4. And the Daizenshuu 4 is literally a concept of Akira Toriyama. It's his concept. So in Toriyama's eyes, Toriyama views the afterlife as a higher dimension. There's no arguing. It's not up for debate. So the afterlife is definitely, without a doubt, higher dimension. So that's why I take Koyama's statement more seriously, because I'm going to take his statement more seriously than even a data book potentially. And then and if the data book supports it, which the data book, actually, no, I'm going to take the data book first because the data book is from Toriyama. But if the data book agrees with him, why are we denying it? There's no reason. It's unacceptable. So when he clearly wants us to believe it's six-dimensional, I don't think there's any room to like start throwing out what ifs and stuff. I mean, it's very clear. So if Koyama wants us to think that, then yeah. And here's other evidence for people who still think the afterlife is in a separate dimension. The goal is to bring down the sand separated by space and time, the harsh trials of both the sleeping father and son must face. This is actually a screenshot. I actually did this because I actually put it here. And I actually put the timing and where you can find it. And I also brought this scan here where Toriyama says the central big ball has the worlds called the living world and afterlife. And the Kaioshin oversee all that from the outside. Oversee, meaning they watch over all of it outside. From their antithesis, at the bottom of the big ball are the as their antithesis, at the bottom of the big ball are the Kaioshin, who govern evil. Currently, it seems the Kaioshin's power is superior. When you're using terms like worlds, what are you saying? It's very clear what Toriyama's kind of trying to say. And people's like, but how can Goku, but listen, brother, how can Goku have a body that's physical, but how can Goku have a physical body in hell or the afterlife? Isn't he supposed to be six-dimensional? No, the cosmology, the afterlife scales to that degree. But Goku's actual body, here's another scan to prove that. In rare cases, there are some who visit the Enma realm while possessing physical bodies. And this is Daizenshuu 7, by the way. In most of those cases, training under Kaio is their goal. Son Goku is an example of this. Also, there's an anomaly where the souls of those killed by Mazoku, which is demons, led by Piccolo Daimao, cannot go to Enma realm. So they drift about in space in the living world forever. So now we have yokai, unfulfilled souls who can't go anywhere. Do you realize how big Dragon Ball is, bro? How many, bro, if Dragon Ball is bigger than most people think, or bigger than you think, let me get a 1 in the chat. Seriously, I think people need to really sit back and smell the coffee. So I don't understand why people are making all of this I don't, you know what I mean? So anyway, now that I've ad nauseum the same arguments I've been doing for a long time, because people are just absolute baboons. Let's go ahead and prove forth what exactly I was talking about earlier. Exactly. Thank you, guys. I appreciate the support. Thank you, everyone who's participating. Yeah, you don't know dimensional tuning. You're pretty sure it's yo, man, this is still bigger. I think people know it's big, but not many put it into perspective, so 5. Funny, Arvado. I like that. So now that we go back to this, right, we understand Koyama's agreement. So 6th dimension. Guys, is 6th dimensional reasonable? Let me get a 6D in chat. Just type 6D. Just type 6D in chat if you agree it's reasonable while I take another bite of this delicious goddamn cheese and pepperoni on a cracker and chew it in your goddamn ear. Bussin'. It says 60, my bad. All right. So pretty much all of us are in agreement with Koyama's writing. The Dark Knight's like, nah, 70, bro. Dark Knight, you're on to something. We'll talk about why you're on to something. So we got the general universe. Macrocosm is 6D. Boom. Don't need to highball it to 7D. The goal is not to make Goku the strongest being in existence. It's to examine Dragon Ball. We're comparing this to Umineko. Now again, people are like, God dang, Atari, you spending all this time on it? It's because Dragon Ball is bigger than Umineko. So there's a lot to uncover. It's harder to get to the point because Umineko is kind of straightforward. Dragon Ball, you got to do digging. And that's fine. Occam's razor doesn't apply here, where the simplest answer is always the right one. Oh, sometimes you got to get you got to get your hands dirty and do some research. Something Death Battles doesn't like to do. So as I'm diving in, let's go into... Now, guys, is the neutral zone the 7th dimension? Yes or no? Based on what we just discussed, would you guys agree 7th dimensional? Yes or no? We just learned about the neutral zone from Champa in the other chapter. Bussin'. Wow. No way. This is bussin'. Rhea Trap is on point. Rhea Trap's on point. Rhea Trap's on point. Now we go back. Now we go back. Now we go back. Guys, remember this dimension? Remember this dimension? Remember that one? Yeah, what's it say? What's it say? Yeah, what's it say? I'll show you what it says. Check it out. Check it out, check it out, check it out. Right here. This is what the official Dragon Ball Super Broly novel translates the dimensional fight. It describes Super Saiyan Gogeta and Super Saiyan Broly's energy as being so powerful that it surpassed or broke the boundaries of the universe, which transported them to that other dimension. When Broly slams Gogeta around, we see more reality shattering. It describes it as something like Broly smashing Gogeta against the walls of space. When they exit the dimension, it describes them as crumbling the dimension. So they destroyed it. Their powers was intense and too much for the universe to handle, which is why they were able to shatter the reality. The room of dimensional lights? It's not that this room is invisible to the afterlife, where the afterlife might scale higher. This room potentially is beyond the afterlife. And it makes sense because, think about it. You had Beerus and Goku about to destroy the macrocosm casually with a punch. So Broly and Gogeta, you'd be like, nice, been there, done that. Goku and Vegeta, Beerus already threatened more. No, this is technically a higher feat. So by context, this is a 7th dimensional feat. Why? Because their power went beyond the macrocosm. And that makes sense. If you watch the Tournament of Power, you got Kefla. Kefla herself is like, I could destroy a whole universe with you. I'm sorry, I gotta make Kefla sound like a cowgirl. Yeehaw! I can destroy a whole universe with just one of my palms and blow it up with one shot. I feel like that voice fits Kefla in that situation just because it's hilarious and people will get mad. But anyway, yeah. What do you want me to say? Yeah, exactly, Roz. Smacking in your ears. Wait, what if this is the dimension Frieza trained in? Who knows? All we know is it's separate. And all we know is it's beyond the macrocosm. But the neutral zone is definitely beyond the macrocosm even further. So, there's either two suggestions. We know this is 70. Y'all ain't convincing me otherwise. There ain't no argument against this. unless you can provide a more accurate translation of the novel, there ain't no arguing this. There's none. It is what it is. All right? It is what it is. You don't believe me? You don't believe me? You want to read the official? All right, let's read the official. Hold on. Man, I ain't going on no versus battle baboons. It's like, dang, Guitar, you call them versus battle baboons? Yeah, it's versus battle baboons. Let's get the original scan up, baby. Hold up. There we go. We got the original script. I got the translation. As Broly lands a punch, Gogeta is blown away, but using this to his advantage, Gogeta, who had just gained the distance, gathers his hand at his hip and prepares for a Ki Blast. In response to that, Broly does the same. Energy containing the might of a different dimension. What is might? What is might? Force. Collides between the two. So the might of a different dimension. So this is a different measurement. All right, when you take the word dimension transliterally. So the might of a different measurement collides between the two. A flash of light surges as a silent explosion expands. That means they're beyond time. That means they're beyond space because you don't hear anything. Or you can say not beyond all of time, but they're beyond probably the first temporality, whatever you want to call it, because the afterlife technically is. The afterlife doesn't have the first temporal level of time. But the point is, it's a silent explosion. You can't even hear it. The next instant, no, not next second, next instant, could be a hyperbole, but you get the point. I mean, they're super fast and they're breaking dimensions, so I think it's a literal instant. The next instant, Gogeta and Broly found themselves within a dimension of twirling strange lights. The boundaries of the dimension could not withstand the energy released by them and got torn apart. So, is it an infinite 7D world? Probably not. But is it beyond the macrocosm? Yes. Yes. So I would say this is finite 7D until proven otherwise. And again, this is reasonable power scaling. There's no wank here or overshooting. But I would say that, with that said, the neutral zone here is 7D, but infinite 7D. Confirm. Because the neutral zone contains them. But the neutral zone, there's no end to it that we know of. Why would the neutral zone have a boundary? Because next up, we go to the Zeno world. Now, a lot of people say, well, you don't know if the neutral zone is infinite. I'm going to certainly guess it is. But in between the neutral zone exists another dimension. We're going to make this one a little bit more vague because we don't know much about it. But it traverses through the neutral zone. So this dimension can travel through the neutral zone. And it's called the mental realm. Now, I know that's in Xenoverse only, but Dragon Ball Super clearly has it because you see Kitella and Sidra talking from across the universes without even being there. So, there you go. SR Nova, welcome, my friend. It's all good, man. So, the Zeno world. Now, a lot of people may be thinking, Latari, why isn't the neutral zone 8D? It could be 8D. It could be. So again, I like to always say could be or maybe. So we know this dimension is 7D. The neutral zone could be 7D or 8D. Could be one of the two. I'm not going to rule out it can't be 8D at this point. But I think it's logical, more reasonable. Likely 7D, could be 8D. That's my argument. Next up, we go to the Zeno world. The Zeno world, all these clouds, all these everything. And guess what? You might be thinking to yourself, hold on.
Wow, Atari, look at all the clouds. Zeno!
Hold on. Let me actually make some real freaking clouds. Hold on, let me get something here. Yeah, let's do this.
Wow, look at the clouds, guys.
Yeah, look at the clouds. Hey, Mickey, look at the clouds.
Oh, boy.
And Zeno is like,
wow, look at Goku. He's from the world with all these clouds.
And you know what? The best part is?
Hey, Gary.
Meow.
Look, Gary.
Oh. Let's delete that. And then SpongeBob's like, look, Gary, there's a jellyfish.
A jellyfish.
Yes, Ingu Lagu. And you know what's on this jellyfish? This tiny little thing. Now, the neutral zone isn't part of this. So, but the neutral zone likely is part of it because it treats it differently. These, you see this, I'll do it like this. I'll do it like this. I'll do it like this. We'll do this. This is like a magnifying glass. And this is not the neutral zone, but this is basically the 7th dimensional realm and all of that from the macrocosm existing on top of Zeno's pillars. Next, we have Zeno's palace. All right, cool. Cool beans. Now, Zeno's world is stated to be another dimension, which literally holds the macrocosms on top. So if you don't take the neutral zone as anything, Zeno's world will be the 8D. Now, could Zeno's world be 9th dimensional? I think it should be, based on the idea that in his world, there are flashing galaxies all the way in the background in many different worlds. So that means in Zeno's world, a galaxy, right, could have a planet on it. That planet, remember, these marbles, they're the size of bowling balls. They're bowling balls compared to actual planets and galaxies. So imagine, imagine you guys I'll give you guys a perfect example. Take a basketball in your room, and I want you to compare it to imagine there's a 7th dimensional structure in it, contained within it. You sit it down in your room. Now, most people might be saying, oh, but that's a 3D basketball and the universe is 3D, so it could just be a 7D object in a 7D world like Zeno's. Could be, but not likely, because now you're dealing with infinities. Now, if I said you had an infinite-sized basketball, it's infinite in size, but to your perspective, you put a higher dimensional container around it so the infinities don't spill. Sounds complicated, but trust me, it's not. Clearly, Zeno's world stands higher because the neutral zone would have died from Broly and Gogeta's attack, and Zeno would have obviously seen it. The Kaioshin clearly have trouble getting to the other worlds, but all I'm gonna say is Zeno's world, if it's not 8D, if it's not 9D, it's definitely 8th dimension. If it's not 9D, 8th dimensional, or 7th dimensional, it have to be between those. So I would say it's either between 7D to 9D, because it could be 7D if you ignore the neutral zone, which I don't know why you would. But Zeno's world verbatim is definitely beyond. Actually, no, it would be 8th dimensional because it would be far beyond. So it can't be lower than 8th dimensional. It's 8th dimensional because we know it's infinitely greater than the room of lights that they fought. And we know this because it treats it like a finite object. And we know you're not going to have a bunch of galaxies in a finite Zeno world. I don't think that will logically be consistent with what Dragon Ball has been presenting us. This can all make sense because I heard you once say that Zeno Goku is like 10D. Exactly. So the jellyfish could literally be between... Now, if the neutral zone exists, and the neutral zone is within these little balls, or the neutral zone is finite and doesn't even exist in Zeno's world, and Zeno's world just treat... If Zeno's world is the afterlife to the neutral zone, Zeno's world is 9D. But if Zeno's world just kind of is like a secondary comparison to the neutral zone, it'll be 8D. So it's one or the other. All right? So 8D, 9D. Cool. Here's the best part. Here's the best part. Hey! Thank you so much for the donation. That was the Dark Knight 47. I really greatly appreciate it. Do you have a different opinion regarding Goku versus Dante? Depends. I haven't seen it. So depending on what that is, I will definitely give you my true and honest thoughts on it. Give me a brief explanation. I'm not sure if the Zeno world contains the universes since they could just be holograms or representation. That's true. That's true, SR Nova. I would agree, but here's the thing, SR Nova. There's actually a guidebook that states that the planets are actually there. They're actually there. Oh, good. Thanks, Andre. Andre just shared with me something on Discord. I should also bring it to your attention that this is actually called the Super Dimensional Battle. So, yeah, I think that's... If that doesn't seal the deal, then I don't know what does. So, yeah, there you have it. There's more evidence. But outside of this... oh, wait. Hold on. You guys can't see it. Let me pull... There you go. The super dimensional battle. There, you guys see it. Hope you guys read it and weep. Super dimensional. Crazy, right? Welcome back, Goku Black. So if the Zeno world sits between 8D and 9D, it has to be 8D because it's beyond the super dimension Gogeta and Broly fought in, because Grand Priest in them would have said something if it actually affected them. Clearly, it wasn't enough. No one else really said anything in the neutral zone, so the neutral zone has to transcend it, because if the neutral zone didn't transcend it, the other gods or somebody would have made a statement. Nobody said anything. And you could argue, oh, it's in a separate dimension. It could be. It could be in a different seventh dimension outside the macrocosm. So it could be kind of parallel. That's why I said it could be 7D and the neutral zone could just be 7D too. I'm here to consider the lower end argument and the higher end. So the higher end neutral zone transcends it and is 8D. The lower end neutral zone is the same level of dimensionality as the dimension. Okay, simple. I think that makes sense narratively as well. I personally, it's hard to really say because the Infinite Zamasu fight, Infinite Zamasu is still a thing. But, moving forward, I think the jellyfish, Zeno's world, is 8th dimensional because I don't see anything below the neutral zone or even that dimension being greater than what Zeno has produced. So I think it's naturally 8D. If the neutral zone ends up being 9D after all, or 8D after all, and Zeno's world is treated like the secondary afterlife, then it could be 9D. But again, these are possibilities. The red represents the accurate, the black represents the highball. So that's accurate, 7D. The highball is going to be the black. I'm going to put highball in black, mid-end in red. So the last point I want to bring, World of Void. This is my intake on it. I don't know. You don't know. We don't know. She doesn't know. Nobody knows. The World of Void is literally that dimension. You know how this is like that guy? The World of Void is that dimension. So we don't actually know where it is. We just know the Kaioshin can't access it. So it may not even be part of the macrocosm. I mean, it might not be even part of creation. The Grand Priest probably just made it. But then again, in the Xenoverse games, every timeline has its own World of Void. So, technically, it's still part of the timeline. Would I say it's a higher dimension? I don't know, honestly. I really don't know. Because I just know it has no space and time. So I just add it as an extra revenue. Same with the Angel Realm and a lot of others. But here's the picture that I want everyone to grasp. All of this... this is great. This is great. I like this picture I'm about to draw. I don't even know how to properly draw this crap. I just know that this is hilarious. Something like this. You guys know what I'm drawing already, so like it may not be accurate, but you get the picture. Oh, look, it's the time ring. So the time ring is either going to be 10D because it's beyond the Zeno world, right? One or the other. It's going to be 10D because it's beyond the Zeno world. All right. Oh, actually, there's one more thing I forgot about this. If the afterlife is 6D, no, the afterlife is 5D and the space between is 6D. Yeah, it's not bigger than that. But if people are, you can't argue the macrocosm's 7D. That argument doesn't work anymore. If you did argue it though, you might get somewhere. But with the Zeno world, you can get this to 10D or you can get this to 9D. There are an infinite number of these time rings. Okay. There's an infinite number of them. So with the infinite, and this time ring contains all of existence as a straight timeline. So it's infinitely greater than the timeline. It's temporal. So as something that's temporal, it's hard because either the ensemble of the space-time... So there's two theories. The entirety of the universe that contains the Zeno world and everything in it, like everything, like the container of time itself, like of existence, you can argue that's 10D from Zeno's world. You can argue that's 9D to 10D in Zeno's world, plus the temporality of this timeline, which is extra temporality, right? It's going to make it 11D, right? Possibly 11D or 10D again. But on the flip side, you could say, nah, it's just a time ring and it's just extra dimensional because it's just a larger Minkowski of all that exists. And then you could just bring it to just keep it as it is here. And then there's the third argument where you could say, oh, and then there's, and actually, no, those are two arguments. Never mind. But either you go with either one of these arguments and say, oh, it's technically a temporality, so the ring exists, and then there's this. But then you have the brown, remember that brown and black space between universes? I'm going to try to replicate it. Let's see here if I can do that. Yeah, it's something like, something like this. Something like this. It's like, and then like now I can kind of blend it and do this and make it more realistic. Don't you guys like Atari's art skills? So yeah, this is the realm where the timeline and time rings travel. So in this context, since we had this highlighted, this brown space back here is either going to be 10D based on the low ball here, 11D based on the other version here, or if you take the temporal argument, which I'm going to make it a different color just to make it stand out, since it could be 11D or 10D, you either consider this 11D again or 12D based on this bad boy right here. So depending on how you want to really go about this temporality argument, you have so many different choices. So you can either go from 10 to 12th dimensional, depending on how you really treat the time ring and the Zeno world below. So again, why am I bringing up, oh, why are you not giving an accurate range? Well, again, the reason I'm not giving you a straight down forward range is because it's very hard to dictate what it is because we haven't finished the series yet. Dragon Ball's not done. Umineko's done. You know what I mean? Daizenshuu is done. These series are all done. DC and Marvel, they're not done either, but they have comics and stories that are done. So we don't know. All I know is that this right now, the space between these universes, is definitely going to be of that realm and category. And I think it's within reason. Characters like, I personally think it's 12. I think it could be in the 12D, 11D realms because I personally think Zeno has the right to be hyperversal, and so does the Grand Priest. I think the way the story is written definitely is supportive of that. And I think Dragon Ball having many worlds interpretation, going into the string theory direction, definitely is in support of 12 dimensions. So I think this is the case for Dragon Ball. It may not be mathematical always, but it may be a mix of mathematical and mythology because that's how Dragon Ball is. With that being said, we now have a complete set of the cosmology of Dragon Ball, somewhat. So now is the best part of the stream, which is the highlight, because we've been going on for a little bit. So what's the best part of the stream is the highlight part. Outside of this, and this, you might be asking yourself, so all right, this is not accurate anymore. This has been updated, but 10D is the usual minimum I would go with. I mean, 9D is the absolute minimum, but whatever. The point is, you get to this point, you ask yourself, now that you understand Saiyan Saga, now that you got the cosmology at your hand, you now ask yourself, let's look at this can again. That can't be Goku. Saiyan powers cannot be strong enough to be felt this far away. Bro. He literally said Saiyan power shouldn't be felt this far away. There's no way they can feel it in the Kaioshin realm. That means they are feeling it in the outskirts between a 6th-dimensional superplane to a 5th-dimensional realm to a degree, to where his key signatures can be detected from there. So imagine if you were Mr. Mixio. So let's paint a perspective. All right? You are Mr. Mixio Picklick, and you're just chilling in the 5th dimension.
Hello there, it's me, Mr. Mixer Picklick. I'm just chilling like I usually do. Wait a minute. Do you feel that vibration, Batmite?
And Batmite is like, yo, what is that vibration? That's all you hear.
Do you feel that?
Yeah, it's shaking this world.
What is that power? Is it coming from that third-dimensional little human? There's no way that a mortal can have that much power.
That's exactly what their reactions would be, because they'd be like, what the hell? This dude's power, I can feel it from here? Impressive. He may not beat me. I may still Mixie still might slap him right upside the head. But the point is, he'd be like, not bad. Not bad, Goku. This mortal is very powerful. And that's Manga Goku. That's Manga Super Saiyan 3 Goku. So, is Manga Super Saiyan 3 Goku universal? Yeah, absolutely. I think within logical reasoning, he would have to at least be fourth dimensional to a degree. I don't think he's going to be fifth dimensional or something crazy unless we're using anime scaling. But for manga, yeah, I think it's very reasonable. He's definitely beyond the multi-galactic threshold. His power is not even supposed to be linearly established. Because Super Saiyan 2 was multi-galaxy in the manga. So, and I'm talking like not normal multi-galaxy. I'm talking crazier than that. Especially if you use the galactic nebula statement and then you talk about the 4 different nebulae or how there's several nebulae and one galaxy quadrant. And it's like, wait, if Gohan's like energy level was less than half, he beat Cell, 2 times stronger than Cell, Rage Boost increased, and he lost his power. Gohan's like 10 times stronger than Super Perfect Cell if he was fresh, or at least 4 or 5 times stronger than Super Perfect Cell if he was fresh. And you're telling me, yeah, he'd be able to go, that literally would scale Teen Gohan on the higher end to be able to destroy half the universe in the manga. I'm not joking about that. Like, you heard it here, folks. Atari HMB had just confirmed Teen Gohan on a higher end manga scale could literally scale to half a universal. At least for 3-dimensional universal. Not high universal, not universe plus, but at least half of universal. He'd be super, super high multi-galaxy level. Like, just super, super, super high multi-galaxy level, depending on how you want to look at it. And I honestly think that's accurate to what Toriyama was going for, considering all the universal statements for Cell. But, you know, whatever. Anyway. Let's see here. No, Roz. People need to hear this. I do believe Teen Gohan is at that level. I think it makes sense because you have to think about the way the narrative is talking about the solar system attack. The narrative tells us that there are several nebula in a galaxy. And there are innumerable stars in a single nebula. If the solar system is a galactic nebula on the outskirts of the northern galaxy, and Cell can destroy a galactic nebula, and you factor in Gohan several times stronger than Super Perfect Cell, Gohan should be able to take out the entire North Galaxy quadrant. Wouldn't be surprising either if you look at the narrative of how it built. So that's why I'm saying, like, a fresh Gohan could possibly destroy, maybe not exactly half the universe, like I said, but maybe a quarter of it, which is still a lot. I know, Roz, don't worry. Cell is not universal. If he was, we would know it. Toriyama would make it clear. Cell is not universal. Let me just clarify that. But anyway, Gohan definitely is 1/4 universal. I don't know what term you would use. You'd probably say high multi-cluster galaxy, but whatever. Mid-universal, that's hilarious. Yeah, Busaga Goku is definitely universal. There's no argument. There's no debate about that. I mean, at least, okay, there's a debate, but it's very minuscule. It's very minuscule. Because, I mean, you're talking about a guy whose power is felt. Come on now. Now, I know people may say, but they felt Kid Trunks' power level all the way from, like, Beerus's planet. I'm like, yeah, Kid Trunks is, like, you saw my video. Kid Trunks is at least galaxy level. He's at least galaxy level as a Super Saiyan. So, I mean, if you can't feel galaxy level power from that far away, I mean, yeah, I would feel it too. God damn, of course I would feel it. I'm like, yeah, let me feel it. Oh, shoot, you feel like that's like a whole galaxy just popped up. All right, hold on, I got it. Boop. It's like Team 4-Star, you just... But I feel you, Roz. Don't worry. I'm not going to turn into a baboon. But again, Keep in mind, that's a higher end interpretation of Teen Gohan. Let's just clarify. But regardless of that, last but not least, how would this really communicate in scaling wise? Basically, Goku's power can be felt across the fifth dimensional construct. Does it mean he can destroy it? No. Hell no. But is he pretty dang strong? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Is Kid Buu multiversal? Yeah. Yeah, he is. Kid Buu is strong enough to destroy the entire universe. That's why they needed a multiversal spirit bomb to destroy him, because they had to gather power from the afterlife, the living world, the ultimate Gohan, Piccolo, Goten and Trunks, and drew all their Genki to their limits. Goku got all the power from the Kaioshin, including God Ki added to that, or Genki. Well, it's Genki, so you can't really add God. I mean, you think you can. I think Genki is like, it's like a form of God Ki that can be sensed almost. It's life energy, but you get what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's God Ki, but you get what I'm saying. Like, the attack potency of it is crazy. Plus, they call it immeasurable power. I don't think that's hyperbole, because it was able to defeat Kid Buu. Goku launched that at Kid Buu. Kid Buu was pushing it back. Goku had to get healed from Shenron. Shenron restored all Goku's stamina, meaning Goku got a Zenkai, and Goku still had to go Super Saiyan on top of it. Think about it. You got this big ball, you're in advantage, and the guy's like, haha, I'm still pushing it back. And you're like, dang, man. And then he's like, oh, here's all your stamina back. Oh, I got all my stamina back? All right, but I still got to at least tap onto like a 500 times multiplier for Super Saiyan Mastered. Then I can blast the attack. Because Goku released all his power when he did that. And here's the funniest part. Here's the funniest freaking part. You know, I'm going to bring that scan up. Because a lot of people sleep on this portion. Hold on, let me see if I can grab it for you guys. Oh boy. See if I can grab this for you guys. Let me see if I can grab it here. Right, so I know Goku. And then you have the old line from Z-Kai. And then remember you were awesome. I can't wait to see what you'll do next time. Later. So for those of you who don't know, I'll go ahead and put the scan on screen so people can see. So that's Goku. He does it. And after that attack, he wins. He gives a thumbs up to Vegeta. They barely won. And after that, guess what? Look at Goku. Look at freaking Goku. Look at Goku. He's not super exhausted, but he's tired. Goku is tired after he just got all his stamina back. It took all his stamina in like a couple seconds just to push the spirit bomb back on Kid Buu. Kid Buu was a monster. It took Goku 7 years getting finite levels stronger just to surpass Gohan. Gohan destroyed a quadrant is not surprising. I agree, Andre. Gohan destroying a quadrant shouldn't be surprising. It took him 7 whole years just to finally get past that. Rigorous training in the afterlife. Finding and discovering new levels. So, yeah. Also, oh my goodness, thank you, RJ. I appreciate it. Janemba and Infinite Zamasu became abstract concepts. Absolutely. And in some cases, they kind of became some form of concepts, or they were manipulating them, such as the laws of nature that Janemba was messing with. Man, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Absolutely iconic panel. But like, I had to just bring this to you guys' attention because a lot of people underestimate this. But Kid Buu was absolute monster. And again, Goku's Genki Dama You know, let me show you. Let's just bring this forward. In case people were wondering, Goku's definitely universal. It may take the power of other people in a spirit bomb, but hey. Well, actually, no. It's actually, let me see here. There's a guidebook statement I'm trying to pull up. Literally needed afterlife times 300 to beat. Pretty much.
Majin Buu, hurry up and do something about the Supreme Kai. He hasn't subscribed yet.
All right, so let's talk about this scan where it says Goku is able to collect energy through all out the universe. I think that this is a very important scan because it tells us how much energy Goku actually had. So the whole immeasurable statement is, you know, it's not hyperbole. But there's also another statement. There's another statement. Let's see here. 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 Da 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 da. All right. So there was another scan. I can't pull it up right now, but but all I know is there's actually a scan that does talk about how Goku had enough energy to, you know, it has said it has as much force as the universe. I know that. So it had the force of the whole universe. All right, let's see here. Yeah. So I can't find it verbatim right now, but I do remember there was definitely something that did show it. I just have to find it again. But anyway, guys, the bottom line is Goku's Spirit Bomb is definitely universal. And we're not talking our universe. Like, it had the force of equivalent to the whole universe. So in that context, people are like, oh, that just means it had the power. Like, no, it says it's immeasurable power. So, like, literally the idea is, like, that's a universal Spirit Bomb. And yes, for those wondering, that means Goku's Genki Dama was a multiversal Spirit Bomb in terms of attack potency. So, I think that much is clear. The last thing I'm really going to drive home with everyone on the stream, by the way, is this scan right here. Let's see here. I think, yeah, actually, no, I don't think I need to really dive any deeper, possibly. Possibly don't have to dive any deeper. I think that's just kind of straightforward with what we really need for the most part of Dragon Ball. I think in comparison, that's fine enough. But the whole bottom line is this Goku alone is already like a major threat. Now, if we start combining him with anime Goku, like we take anime Super Saiyan, if we take the anime, oh look, it's me, Lord Beerus, and I'm fighting a Super Saiyan God. The whole point is, Featherine, as we brought up earlier, Lambda Delta, Featherine. Lambda Delta would be 8th dimensional, so like she would compare to the neutral zone. But you know who Lambda Delta, like, and so remember, guys, how many people in chat remember how busted this girl Lambda Delta is? Like, how many people remember Lambda Delta, how strong she is, right? We just talked about how she's 8th dimensional, right? Yeah, this girl right here, this girl, we just talked about her. She's 8th dimensional. Yeah, ignore her face, but whatever. This, how many remembers this? Y'all remember? Oh boy. So, Goku Black, I'm sorry. You got 2 ads, bro. You got 2 ads at inaccessible speeds. It's most normal My Hero Academia fan. You probably came in a little bit later, but we talked about her. So the bottom line, guys, is she's strong. She's 8th dimensional. Homegirl next to her should also scale relative to her, I believe. Yeah, I think she is relative. They both should be relatively 8th or 7th dimensional-ish areas. Easy. Now let me ask you guys this. Goku's strong, but people still need to stop over wanking Goku. All right? Now, do you guys, like, there's people who just put Goku way too strong than he needs to be. And it's getting sickening. Now, let me tell you guys something. What if I told you? Oh my gosh. You guys want to hear something funny? You guys want to hear something really funny? I'm going to show you guys something real funny. You know, Lon the Delta is mad strong, guys. But, oh shoot. But despite how strong she is, I can't stop laughing. Because, like, in all honesty, like, I wish I was making this up. What if I told you, and Lon the Delta's a beast, but what if I told you, and even though she exists in a higher dimension, but what if I told you this guy would look at her and win? I'm not joking. Like, I'm seriously not joking. Jiren, the Gray. Like, look. Do I gotta show you again? Do remember? Never forget. Rest in spaghetti. Never forgetty. Do I gotta show you? The lowest this list can be is 9D. Generally, it could be 8D if you really, really, really lowball it. Technically, but we went over the nuances. Jiren fought Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta and Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta with Kaioken times 20 Zenkai Boost Goku through a Max Kamehameha at him. Vegeta Super Saiyan Blue Evolution through a final flash. Stronger, and we know they're stronger than Infinite Zamasu. You ain't ever convincing anyone because literally Jiren was so much stronger, his mere aura was stronger than anyone they ever faced. Yet, he glares away a final flash. Glares away a final flash. Like, how many times I gotta say it? He glared away a final flash from a blue evolution. With his eyes. With his freaking eyes. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he beat a spirit bomb with his eye. God damn. And he's suppressed. He didn't even show an ounce of his power. What do you want from me? Jiren, stop looking at me like that, bro. Stop looking at me like that, bro. You're scaring me and my viewers. Here's a GIF. You can't say it's copyright because it's a GIF. Literally punts Goku. Like, check this out. Final flash. Vegeta throws the final flash. Jiren got rid of it with his freaking eyes, bro. With his eyes, bro. Like, I don't think people are really, like, putting that in perspective. Like, imagine how strong you have to be to just look at something and just disperse it. That's nothing. That's nothing. Vegeta's Final Flash took out Topo. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's just amazing. Hey, Roz, thank you so much for the donation. I greatly appreciate it. $2 donation from Roz. Thank you so much, really. But can he be Geese, though? Now, that's a good question. But I will definitely say. Actually, no. I was going to say he's more casual, but when I remember when Geese fought Verse, Geese literally bullied Verse, bro. But we don't talk about Bruno. I mean, Geese. Geese is busted. But anyway, like on a serious note though, guys, like I just want to like inform you guys, this is like how crazy Jiren is. So remember we built up all this hype around Featherine and Lambda. Yeah, Jiren glares him. Jiren literally like, all right, guys, true or false? Do you think Jiren would actually blink the Naruto verse away? Do you actually think Jiren could blink Naruto and Saitama away? Do you think he can blink Saitama, Naruto, Ichigo, and pretty much a lot of other characters at the same time? Do you think he can blink them away? Pretty much. Even if we include Lambda Delta. What about Daizere and Reinhardt? We didn't talk about them this stream, but I'll just say this. Jiren gives everyone like Jiren, you know what I mean? Jiren is a beast. All right. Like, here. You want to know how a fight of Jiren versus Galactus would end? It'd be like this. It'd be like this. This is how the fight would end. That's the fight. God dang. Oh, damn, my throat. Oh, sorry. Andre sent me a clip of Chuck Norris staring at a man to death. That's Jiren. Jiren is literally Chuck Norris in the freaking spandex. But like the whole point is Dragon Ball Cosmology. I hope you guys had fun during this stream. It is getting late for me now. Oh, super late. But I just wanted to go over like a general scope about how strong these characters are, the cosmology difference. Maybe we'll do like a Bleach and Yu Yu Hakusho comparison next time, and we'll have a little bit more room. But hope you guys enjoyed this overnight late stream. Overall, it was fun to do it. I think overall it was great. But there you have it. I know, random guy, don't worry. I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Hey, cool, okay? Thank you guys for stopping by. So everyone, thank you guys for stopping by. Whoever stopped by the stream, you guys are amazing. You guys are awesome. It was great to get to like talk with you guys and really build a great relationship and a connect. I think I had a lot of fun actually this stream time around. Power scaling usually not fun, but I had a lot of fun this time around. You know, just kind of sitting around, you know, talking about other cosmologies and generally speaking. Again, like I said, it's about cosmology breakdown. Sometimes you got to compare the cosmologies. Like I said, I keep saying like I said, but anyway, maybe next time we'll get into Archie Sonic. How many of you guys are down for Archie Sonic? Who's down for Archie Sonic? Who's down for an Archie Sonic stream next time? Yo, let me get some stars in the chat if we're down for some Archie Sonic as well. Because I mean, Archie Sonic needs a little love too, bro. You're getting some Archie Sonic. You know what I'm saying? Rhea Trap's like, no. He's like, no Archie Sonic. Okay. All right, guys, how about this? I got a better idea. Since the Mario movie is coming out, how about we do a comparison of Mario Cosmology versus Archie Sonic? Who's down for that? If you are down, spam stars. Because we got to, spam the stars for Mario. All right, David Super, you have yourself a blessed night. God dang, yo, most number, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Mario versus Sonic. That'll be a good cosmology comparison. Oh, that's gonna be tight. I'm gonna wait until I see the movie for it first, because I'm gonna spoil a lot. I'm gonna spoil whatever cosmology updates we get in the movie. Yo, me and Retro are going to be power scaling our off. Told you to disconnect. Okay, thank you for reconnecting. I don't know why he's shouting at me. Stop shouting at me. You don't need to shout. Okay, so anyway, outside of the OBS shouting at me, I'm talking really fast. Let me slow it down. I'm super excited, guys. I can't wait for the next stream when we talk about, Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog versus It's a me, Mario. You're going down, plumber. Alrighty. Well, Sonic, I'm going to whoop ya. Oh, boy. All right, though. But seriously, y'all. Oh, yeah, the Mario movie's coming out. Yeah. Yeah. It's a me, a Mario. That's not the voice. You'll have to wait until the movie to see the voice. All right, but guys, seriously though, y'all have yourself a wonderful night. This has been Atari H&B. It's been great speaking. Mario with the Hello there, brother. It's me, Super Mario. Now you see, I am coming around to ask you, where the hell have you been? Why are you running? Why are you running? You see, I tell you the last time. That's the thing about you guys. You dumb turtles. So that's a thing about a tale about the turtles. You do not come around in the country to talk about the turtle. If you come in the country and you talk about turtle, the turtle, you see, you get turned to turtle soup. I do not know why you are coming around into the mushroom kingdom, because of the African Mario. No, but seriously, guys, you guys have yourself a wonderful night. Thanks everyone for stopping by. African son. I can't even do that. Do you know the way? It's me, African Sonic. All right, enough. Have a great night, guys. This is Atari H&B, and I'm signing off. Peace. And I'll definitely consider that, Roz. Crash of Mario, definitely. Thanks, Dorshammer. Likewise.